Let's just fuck around with this for 5 minutes.
Okay, so now we're
it's live. So now, where do you record?
So now what?
There is a chat. Do you want to go into the chat? You can. They were really quick to get back.
Dude, how did we not figure this out? This is what I thought. This is what you were doing.
I tried to, and nobody
I
came.
thought
Nobody
you
was
were
coming
figuring this
on.
out.
No, you should be able to record this.
Well, it's going to be on YouTube, right? And it's going to be on Facebook. So that's just what it's going to be. Well, it's going to just record on that, and we'll have to upload that and we have to download that and grab the audio. There's no other way to do it. Hey, we're here.
There's a real latency on the live stream on Facebook. Real, like a 5-second latency.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's annoying. All right, so in terms of recording, yeah, Michael, we're already having technical issues.
Michael, how did you know that?
We just want to record this for the episode so we can publish it, but not.
It sounds like I can't record it on my computer. That's okay. It's going to have to just go to all the places that we're uploading this. No problemo. So you guys are seeing us. It's working. That's okay. It's going to have to just go to all the places that we're. Why am I hearing myself? Oh, that's why. Because it's
turn your volume down.
Okay. How is everybody now? Dave, is there a link to share with everybody so they can join us on StreamYard?
You can. Yeah. Hold on a second.
I know I shouldn't have let you in charge of this.
What do you mean you shouldn't have let me in charge of it? It's fine. People can join.
Who wants to join?
Look at your screen and you can join. You can click.
How do you click?
For those of you guys that are just joining us, we haven't really started yet. We're just like fucking around to try to figure out how to record this. This is our first time on StreamYard. So liquor up, everybody.
Get ready.
Matt, there's if you want to get in the chat, if you want to get in the
not
the help
chat.
If you get in the live, if you get the live help, they'll tell you how to record. I believe all you do is
what do you do?
Yeah, where's the record button? There should just be a record. Hold on a second.
So this is streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube, which means when we're done, it's recorded to those two sources. So we'll have to pull audio for the podcast from those sources. So that's how it's going to work.
How are you going to pull? Well, how do you pull
audio? I have to download it and pull it off it in a video editor. I'll have to manage it. So yeah, see, that's what I mean. Was why I shouldn't have left you in charge of this. Anyway,
hey, you were welcome to jump on Saturday, and you're like, no.
I fucked up. I trusted you. It's what it is.
No. When I went on this thing on Saturday last week, there was. Hold on.
Let me grab some Jameson. I love that. Grab some Jameson.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the deal, Dave. There's no link that anybody can join, so we need to be able to give them that link so they can join. How do we do that? We'll work this out, guys.
You go to invite down below.
Nice.
And you invite the guests. Now you can go through Gmail, email, or Messenger, whichever one you want. I can just copy this and send this to Facebook.
Oh, we're posting it in the chat right now. Here you go,
Are you
guys.
Posting it? Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, so those of you that want to join, we'll let you in. I just put it on there.
We'll let you in, but unlike the group, questions asked tonight.
You're going to come on, and if you come on, you're going to, it's going to be fun. I don't know where I was going with that, but here we are. So this is cool. So
we're live, guys.
Here we are. We're live.
Matt, do me a favor. Google how to record, where the recording is for this, because there should just be a button for recording.
It doesn't exist.
No, it should exist, because when I did this last week, it said that you would click a record button and you can record the whole meeting. I don't know where it is.
I don't know either. Is that all you guys are on Facebook? Is anybody watching this on YouTube? It says it's going on YouTube, but I can't tell. Oh, here. Oh. No, I can't tell. I don't know if it's letting us, Dave.
What, on YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna add Glenn to the stream. Hey, what's up, man?
Hey,
Thanks for
guys.
joining.
Dude.
It's working on YouTube, guys.
It is working
okay,
on YouTube.
thank
Yeah,
you.
because
All right,
I have YouTube up. You can see it. So it should be all set on YouTube.
Awesome.
We just
So
try
is
to
it-
figure out
is
how to
it-
record this.
So how do we say your name? Is it Glenn? Is it Glenn?
It's Glenn. Yeah, like
Glenn. Glenn. And you're from Australia,
yeah, Melbourne, Australia.
Melbourne.
By your
awesome.
accent, you're
Awesome, man.
obviously coming in from Oklahoma, right?
I'm actually from Yorkshire, England, so you can tell by the strong English accent.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, awesome, man. Well, that's good. You need it. I'm glad you joined because we need an accent on our podcast. So is that?
I've got two. I'm listening to them right now.
That's right. That's right. Where's my link? Hold on. We got to give Philip Carter the link.
Philip.
That's right. Let me figure it out.
This is like live radio because I hear like the delay in the back.
Yeah, I hear the delay. Yeah.
Oh, I know, it's terrible. That's
Let me figure it out.
This is like live radio because I hear like the delay. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. There. Yeah, if you turn us on, we should get it. So, Glenn, you're on the Guitar Dads. Welcome aboard,
Yeah, welcome.
man.
Thanks for joining in.
just the three of us, hey?
Just
Just the three of us
right
for now. Yeah. Anybody else want to click that link? You guys can join in. We got room in the pool for 7 more. Or actually, I think technically 9 more, right? Because it's guests.
That's the link.
But thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us. So we're gonna try to do an actual kind of an actual episode tonight.
Yeah. Dave's gonna do the thing. Glenn needs headphones to shut off YouTube stream. What do you think, Glenn? We are getting some feedback from you, dude.
Right. So Ryan in the comments, I see Ryan asking about the link. Ryan, there's a link in the chat. Matt, you want to post that link again?
I just posted it. I am also going to.
Ryan, just scroll up and you'll see in the guitar one of the Guitar Dads posted a couple times as a link, and then you should just click on that, and then we'll let you in.
Let you in, dude. This is so much fun, guys. This is the first time we've done this. Let me write to
lots of technical issues. This is the Guitar Dads. We have you guys know we have technical issues every single week. We can't figure it out.
I'm sending the link to Philip. He's going to join. Philip Carter from the 40-watt pod.
Michael, are you hearing an echo? Oh no, you're talking about Glenn, like hearing Glenn's background, right? Because
yeah, it looks like it went away. Yeah, it looks like Glenn's
Okay.
muted, so it went away. All right, we're working this out. It's all happening.
Wow. Hey, Glenn, what time is it over there?
It's midday.
Midday. Wow.
On Saturday.
Midday.
Well, happy Saturday. Happy Friday night to everybody else.
Yeah. Just sent. I'm just talking to Phil.
We're just setting up the link, and then we're gonna get moving. Because
Dave's gonna do the whole intro, and anybody else
do the
wants
intro.
To join, anybody else that wants to join, please join. We'll let you in. Maybe we'll ask a question, but we're gonna let you in. It's crazy, Glenn. It's tomorrow already over there. I love it.
Yeah. Why are you rushing things over there? You're ahead
The
of
weather's
everybody.
nice though, at least, so you'll know.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Oh man, it's like cold. Yeah. So up in the Boston area, it's like cold rain. And then I just went outside for a second and it's snowing now. It's like, what the heck? It's like the worst weather in the world. Yes, it is. And it was 60 degrees yesterday. And people in Boston were jogging around in shorts. It was just this is the wackiest winter we've had in winter in a long time.
This winter, yeah.
Yeah, it was 110 here yesterday. So.
Oh wow! Oh my god! 110 Celsius though.
No,
yes. What is that in Fahrenheit?
Yeah. So it's just a little toasty yesterday. So
Yeah, Celsius, you'd be dead. I get it. Nice. There you go. So yeah, because it's really, what is it? Because you guys have opposite seasons too, right? So
yeah.
yeah,
it's
so it's
kind
come
of
up to the end of summer.
end of the summer for you guys. Yeah, nice, awesome, good times.
Yeah, they have opposite seasons, Matt. Get this straight.
Yeah, I'm
'cause
just trying to keep it straight. Yeah.
Santa shows up in a Speedo.
I worked with an Australian for a long time, and I felt bad for her because at Christmas time, she was looking at Instagram, looking at all her friends, and she's like, "Oh man, I miss being there," because that's like the beginning of the summer. So I'm like, "Oh, Christmas time in Australia is like kind of like our July 4th time, where like the summer's really getting rolling and people are getting together for barbecues and." Yeah.
Matt, can you post the link again in the chat just for Ryan? Hey, Philip, what's up, man?
Philip's here. What's up, dude?
What's up, guys?
How you doing, man?
Y'all talking about summertime, man?
Yeah,
It's summer.
Glenn's
Yeah,
on.
it's summer. It's summertime in Australia. Glenn's having a great time there.
I mean, it's February in Mississippi, but it's real close to summer for half the time.
Well, that's true. That's a really good point.
Yeah, I was
That
gonna
is
say
a
it doesn't
really-
get that cold down there, right?
Well,
That's a really
it's a
good
little
point.
chilly today. It's a little chilly today. It was
Oh, is it? Okay.
What do you
was something
consider
like-
chilly?
it was like 36, 37 this morning.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right. It's a
It's
little
proper,
chilly.
proper chilly.
Dude, that was
That's
colder
rough,
than it
though.
was in the Boston area this
Yeah,
morning. Let me
seriously.
tell you.
Well, we're getting all that El Nino effect coming through right now.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was like 45 degrees this morning here. That was as cold as it got last night.
Yeah, I was talking yesterday with 2 days ago with Scott from the Effects Loop podcast, and he's in Chicago. And I was telling him like Wednesday night and Thursday morning we had like tornadoes coming through, and he's like, "Look, you Southerners always talk about our winters, but we don't have tornadoes, we don't have
That's right.
hurricanes, we don't have we don't have any of that crap."
That's a
right,
good point.
yeah.
That because that stuff that's tough.
We
Yeah,
do.
that's-
We have lately in the last several years gotten like more and more tornado warnings up here,
Uh-huh.
which is weird for us. But
Yeah, no, it's normal for us. Actually, there's been several years where we get more tornadoes than like Oklahoma does. The problem is here they're more trouble because we have trees and Oklahoma doesn't, and so we can't see them coming.
Mm.
Anyway, this isn't a tornado podcast.
Ryan,
That's okay.
Ryan's saying, I don't know why Facebook is only showing me my comments in the chat, but no way to change it. So what's happened in the live chat? What's going on, Ryan?
Look.
All right, we'll figure it out. First time
Yeah.
for everything.
This
Yeah,
is a
you
fun
know,
time.
These kind of things are always fun to deal with.
Philip,
live
we
streaming.
should have hired you to run our live stream because you're the old pro here. So-
Look,
know,
man.
dude.
Look, and honestly, God, y'all were on StreamYard. They're gonna kick me off. Y'all are on StreamYard. I'm just saying, Riverside's the way to go, dude.
Hey, you know what? You look a little higher up in your feed here because the gentleman up there in the Guitar Dad shirt, you can talk to him. He wanted to do StreamYard.
Just
But-
because I've used it and I've been
Yeah,
on the
it's
other
been-
end of it and it's worked.
yeah,
So,
you know, yeah.
yeah.
It seems to be pretty close to working.
You're gonna get kicked off for mentioning a competitor. They have
yeah,
that.
So Mike-
Their AI is trolling this, and it's just
So we're
what?
having difficulty seeing comments on YouTube too. Interesting.
are?
So Ryan, we can't see Ryan's comments on YouTube. Can all the other comments going through
so,
YouTube?
So yeah, any Facebook comments aren't going to show up on the YouTube side.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Right.
And YouTube
Yeah.
comments aren't going to show up on
Aren't
the
going
Facebook
to show up on the
side.
Facebook site.
Yeah, they're limited to their platform.
Yeah.
That's why, guys.
Yep, that's it. That's just the way it goes. We get to see.
I'm
both of them.
okay. Yeah, I'm gonna just make sure I'm kind of monitoring both. I'm just pop on YouTube too because I forgot to pull that up.
There you go. So guys, how's it going?
We're
100.
good.
We're
100. You were 100 years old.
100.
Man,
It's kind of crazy.
you guys
I mean,
actually have something to talk about for 100 episodes? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Seriously.
Barely. The answer.
Hey,
to
you know
that,
how it goes,
Philip,
Philip. It's
is
a grind every week to come up with this stuff. right?
barely,
You know?
man.
No, y'all's grind's a totally different one than mine. I'm grabbing new people like every
Yeah,
week.
you
Well,
got a
I
different
say
grind.
every
Yeah.
week. I did every
Yeah.
other week last year is the way it averaged out. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's a wild time.
That sounds more reasonable than what we do, but we've grinded through this on 100 episodes, so it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of work, but it's been worth it, and it's fun times.
I don't know, man. I still think somebody suggested it, and it may have been one of you guys, and I can't
It's
remember
Ryan.
now. But somebody suggested after my episode with Joe Branton
Yeah.
Since we spent the first 25 minutes talking about liquor and beer, he said, y'all need a spinoff podcast where you just talk booze.
Oh, I like that idea.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm just,
Dave-
and I'm gonna say
yeah.
the whiskey podcast has a much bigger audience than the guitar podcast.
Yeah,
dude.
it definitely does. It definitely does. Dave listens to a couple of
Philip,
whiskey
do you-
podcasts. There he is. Hey,
Philip,
Ryan.
do you listen to whiskey? Hey, Ryan. Philip, do you listen to Whiskey Cast?
No, because I don't. I literally
It's a great
only
podcast. So
listen
the dude
to
has like
music
a
podcasts.
1,000 episodes. Yeah.
Oh, we lost
I've been
Glenn.
getting into some of the whiskey ones, but they're. Oh, where'd Glenn go?
We lost him.
There's
Glenn, if you
No,
want,
he's,
Glenn, we
he's
miss
on.
you. Come
We
back.
lost him.
It's okay. People are gonna
What's
pop
up, Ryan?
off and
You're
on.
finally
That's all
on.
good.
Yeah.
Ryan, nice to meet you, man.
And you're talking about whiskey, and I already have my Jameson, so
Nice,
I'm
man.
ready.
The 40.
Oh,
I
there you
just-
go.
I see-
Yeah.
I see-
Cheers.
I see Michael
Cheers.
said the 40-ounce podcast.
Actually, Michael, yes, that is exactly what I would call it. The 40-ounce podcast.
podcast. It's the best.
I like
just,
that.
We'd just be drinking 40 ounces of malt liquor the whole time. It'd be great.
That's really awesome. That's so good. That's so good,
The
man.
longer the episode goes on, the more interesting it
Oh,
gets.
Oh, dude,
Quinn's
the
back.
Patreon episodes would be unhinged.
That's right.
The 40
Oh
ounce
yeah, we're making. Well, truth be told, we're making that announcement tonight. We're gonna be getting Patreon going, so those episodes are gonna be off the hook because the drinking.
Oh
is
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
continue.
yeah.
Dude,
Because
it's-
what ends up happening usually after Dave and I record a podcast is we just hang out and just chat still, and like I drink a lot of booze and he continues to drink whiskey, and the conversation just gets crazier and crazier. So yeah, maybe
Oh,
we'll just
well,
hit
then
record on those things.
Get
Yeah.
me in on the Patreon episodes, then I'm in. that's my kind of content right there.
Yeah. They sound like it's mainly going to be drunk episodes, so it should be
That's
fun.
right.
So
Yeah.
so like my most recent episode I did with Scott, we were I was trying to help him find an amp, right? He's been amp shopping.
Oh yeah, I saw. Yeah.
And so
cool.
the Patreon episode is continued, and I say some things in Patreon I'm not willing to say in the like free for everyone episode.
Totally.
Because
Totally.
I don't like to rag on manufacturers too much, but occasionally, I want to be able to be truthful without being like super hateful. But anyway, and I'm not hateful, I'm just honest. But yeah, that episode I proceeded to drink of the Patreon, and then Scott and I ended the episode. Then we stayed on another hour and 45 minutes amp shopping.
Wow.
Like virtually.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah. So that happens too, because we will have talked about something on the episode, and then I pull it up on Google and I'm like, oh, maybe I should get, and then you go down a rabbit hole, right?
Oh yeah, the rabbit hole.
The
Yeah,
Google
no need.
rabbit
I mean,
hole.
and our listeners know what you, Philip, and Matt did to me about a month and a half ago, which you can see behind. The last time you saw this room, that wasn't there. Now you can. I don't know,
Yeah.
can you see it? There it
Yes,
is. There
Yeah,
she is.
he's out of control. He's out of control.
Yeah.
What? I mean, out of control. I got rid of 2 amps, and I got the Jew.
No, I like
you
it.
know?
I like that you got rid of those amps, because I didn't love those amps.
Look,
that
if,
you
Well,
had.
truth-
if him getting one amp is out of control, I need an
Yeah,
intervention.
exactly.
Yeah, well, you
You
Philip, you're on a different level than most. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, I'm an addict.
Of gear acquisition. Yeah. We finally got Rick Calhoun on and his brother Andrew last night, and we
Oh, man.
recorded that podcast. So that's coming on from
I love
Honey
Rick.
Picks.
Hey,
From Honey Picks.
Matt, real
and
quick.
your name came up. Your name came up. 'Cause
Yep.
we were talking
Hold on,
about
let's
gear
hold-
at one point, and he's
let-
like, "Yeah,
let's hold-
Philip has bougie taste."
Yeah. Matt, let's hold this.
Yeah,
Let me
Dave.
let's do the. I'm going to do the intro so we can hit the. So you can like grab this for the when you publish the episode, and then.
All right, are
'cause
we
I wanna
ready to do
I want
that?
to capture
Okay.
some of this.
All
We
right,
got to
so-
capture some of Philip's bouginess and what Rick said last night.
So,
Oh, God.
so Dave will do the intro like you guys are used to hearing on the podcast, and then we'll get into it. We did want to. There was some like topics I wanted to throw out tonight, and we can.
Oh,
get
yeah,
you
that's
guys
gonna be a
in- in
free-for-all.
news. There's gonna be all kinds of stuff we're gonna throw. So
It's
so
going to
you
be a
guys are in
free-for-all.
for it. All right, Dave, you want to do it? All right, everybody. All right,
All right.
quiet on the set. Okay.
Jesus. This is what he does to me every week, and then I screw it up the first 2
Yeah.
times. Then we got to do it a third. All right. All right, Matt, make a mark on the minute marker so you know where to pull this from. All right.
I'll figure it out.
You'll figure it out. You're an amateur. You're a pro. Welcome to the Guitar Dads Podcast, a podcast for guitar dads by guitar dads. This week, it's the episode of the century, but it ain't Tom Petty or a real estate deal. We are live. Welcome to this very special live event as the Guitar Dads celebrate episode 100, joined by so many of our loyal listeners and followers. Tonight, it's all about you guys, so tune up, plug in, and drive out. There will be so much to gain, your mind will be distorted. And now, for the 100th time, Matt and Dave.
Hello, everybody. I am Matt. It's episode 100, and we got some listeners and friends here tonight.
Yeah, let's get right into it. We are live on Facebook and YouTube, and we are glad to know that we're joined by a bunch of people here, and hopefully more as the night goes on. So it's going to be a free-for-all. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got some things we want to get to. We got some giveaways and some news and announcements and all that stuff. So let's go.
Well, first,
What's up,
say,
guys?
guys, I need to say that your pun game is absolutely on point. because here's the thing. If the puns don't make me cringe the whole time, they're not even worth saying. And I cringed during that entire intro.
Thank you. That means so much to me, Philip. I really
This is what,
appreciate that.
this is the theme of the Guitar Dads is we don't pull punches on puns. We don't pull punches on terrible jokes. Sometimes I listen back to the podcast and I'm like, that joke was just like, come on.
It's just, what do you mean sometimes?
And I don't know if you guys noticed,
Sometimes.
but all you guys
Ryan.
on top have no glasses, and all of us down here on the bottom have glasses. It's a perfect split.
I think you might have a different setup. I don't know.
Yeah, what's going
I mean,
on?
I could change that.
John.
Oh, I see it now. Okay, yeah.
But,
Very good.
Yeah, now Matt and Dave are the odd men out.
Yeah, I don't like
geez.
how mine reflect the monitor back, so I take them off when I record the podcast.
I would
Yeah.
be completely blind if I took mine off. So
Nice. That's awesome.
I'm-
Glenn's got his off.
I only need them because I have an astigmatism. So
So you got to have them on.
yeah, well,
And John's here.
at this distance, it's fine.
I am getting to the point where I might need him.
John, are you there? Can you hear
John,
us?
what's going on,
man,
man?
I'm
Thanks
here.
for joining.
How you guys
Can we-
doing?
Here he
We're
is.
doing good, dude.
Yeah, I'm trying out a new webcam.
Gentlemen, hey, John Brunette, bassist from Rage.
Hi guys.
Yeah, our bassist, buddy John.
That works.
Yeah, John, your audio isn't good though, so you
Yeah,
tell me
let
what
me-
you want to do.
Yeah, well, it's part of a new webcam. Let me just try this. I'll just.
I like how you have like a dark background, like you're on witness protection or something.
Y'all let the long boy players in here?
Yeah, we
it looks
do.
like
we
you're about to be
do.
interviewed by the CIA.
The longboard players.
All right, how's that? That a little better?
Phil's got a guitar he wants to show us.
No, I've always got a guitar in my hands. That's just the way it is. That's just
Which
how it
one is
goes.
that? Is that the 58?
Yeah, this is the
Is the R8?
58
Philip,
the 58 reissue.
Oh, I love it.
Oh.
Phil, I'm gonna have to go grab that Purple Heart guitar I was showing you
Look at that thing.
yesterday.
Oh yeah, I think
Yeah,
we
man.
lost Dave.
Actually,
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that'll put a
you me?
damper on things. There
Oh,
you
Dave's
are.
here.
Oh, there you go.
He's here.
There you go.
He's here. He's good. He's fine.
Nice.
All right. So what do we want to do, Dave?
here.
Dave, did you have news you want to do? You want to do a news and notes segment with the guests here?
Yeah, let's do. You know what? We might as well keep the show running like we usually do, and quickly get into some.
mean, you
news and
said
let
you
let it
had
just
some
fall
things
off the
you wanted
rails
to
like
do.
it does every
Yeah.
single week.
Well, that's what we're gonna do. But it's kind
Well,
of fun.
you
There's
know,
a lot
and we-
that's going- it's a lot of news.
Yeah, there's a lot of news, and the first thing we definitely have to get to this, and you guys will hear a little bit more talk about it next week too. So there was a little bit of news on the Bon Jovi front this week, and it looks like John and Richie are in talks to kind of get back together and maybe date again. I don't know. What do you guys think of this? Because Matt and I are talking about this, and we've
Did you say
mentioned
maybe
for
date
months
again?
and years, maybe date again. But John hasn't been able to sing in years, and Phil X is amazing and everything. But it's like, is this really gonna revive the whole like real Bon Jovi thing? I don't think so. It's like it almost to me, it's like it was it was what it was. John really can't sing anymore. Richie left for his own reasons. It's over.
Yep.
I don't know. What do you
Yeah.
guys think?
Yeah. Philip doesn't care.
Has Bon Jovi, like, I get it. I get the love for Bon Jovi because I do love those Bon Jovi tracks, like in a very like spring break 1994 kind of way.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay.
But it's
Oh,
at the
don't
same
walk all
time,
over Matt.
No. I really do appreciate the music, but it's sort of like it's been dead for a while, just no one's
Yeah,
been
it's true.
willing to say it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's
I think
sorta
you're
like,
100%
it's sort of
right.
like Keith Richards died 20 years ago, but nobody told him. It's the same thing.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. It's a good point. These are, I mean, we talk about this a lot on the pod, right? These are essentially nostalgia acts. Yes, Bon Jovi just put out an album in 2020, and he fancies himself like he's this amazing songwriter, and he was at one point, right? But like, has he done anything,
was.
in the last 20 years? I don't. Well, he did have that really popular album. I don't know if that was in the 2000s where they had some big hits. So I'll give that to him.
That was like 05, I want to say.
Yeah, it was like 05. It was like 15 years ago plus.
Well, it's
right?
also this.
We're gonna let Glenn
No,
back
that
in.
was 15. That was like 8.
Yeah, it is Glenn. Yeah.
It's this thing though. So
Yeah,
like,
I think it's over. I think it's over.
You age and your voice goes. That's just nature. That's like
It
you're
is.
not
It
going to
is.
keep doing that. And so these guys that keep trying to do it the way they did, the way they do things, all this kind of stuff, and I wish someone would take the page out of the Robert Plant book. First of all, Robert Plant lost his ability to sing at that level, 200 dates a year while they were still in. Like, I've heard recordings of them doing Black Dog 2 half steps down because, that's a lot when you're on the road.
It was
as much as they are.
crazy.
Yeah,
It was crazy. Yeah.
And so what did he do? They got off the road. They did Page and Plant, which was, I enjoy the Page and Plant stuff, but I know not everyone does.
I loved it.
Yeah, but then he does an album with Alison Krauss with a totally different singing style, one that he can do with his voice where it is now.
Yes.
That sounded all right.
I love that album.
I was kind of shocked.
No, it's good. Like, it's good. It's good. And here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Like Bon Jovi is not willing to do that, right?
Yes.
He's not willing to because that's what happened.
No,
like
he's
Plant
totally
was
not
like,
willing
it's
to do it.
it's over, and it's those days are over. We're not doing that stuff anymore. And he moved on to a different thing. And I say this all the time. I actually think the 2020 album from Bon Jovi is pretty good because he's singing in a register he can actually singing now.
There you go.
Right. And it's like,
But it's not Bon Jovi. It's not Bon Jovi.
Well, that's not true, right? Because it evolves.
But that's not Robert Plant. It's not Robert Plant either. But I ended up listening to like 2 or 3 songs, and I sat there going, "Did I just listen to Robert Plant?" And did I just do that? It was not bad.
I listened to the hell out of that album.
I got to be honest. The Bon Jovi thing, I wouldn't go in my backyard and see them when they were hot. It's just not my taste. It's just not my taste.
Really?
It's just not my taste.
Glenn's nodding on that one too.
I'm not gonna. So I'm not trashing the band. It's just not my thing,
Yeah, it wasn't your thing anyway. Yeah. Okay.
No, so I don't.
So pedal play it. Go ahead, John. Sorry.
No, that was it. That was it.
No, I just wanted to point out. Pedal
take.
Playhouse was commenting on Pedal Playhouse was commenting on chronic illness can take away your voice as well, and apparently he. So Pedal Playhouse, so you're a singer and you're saying a hiatal hernia it kind of took your voice out.
So Pedal
what's going
Playhouse
on?
is
Let us know.
Joan of Heart. She's one of the co-hosts over at the Get Offset podcast. She also has a demo channel.
Okay, yeah.
Nice. I just
yeah,
listened
Joan,
to
I know
their,
Joan.
their
Hi,
most
Joan.
recent episode today while I was working on stuff.
Yeah, that's Joe. Yeah, she's right. I mean, I only in the last month discovered the source of one of my vocal ailments that I've had for years, and it's actually disappointing. It's actually an allergic reaction I was having to something.
Really?
And I didn't know. It was never severe enough for me to, and also there was other factors that I was never able to pinpoint that was the thing destroying my voice. And I pinpointed in the last month and a half when it got real bad, like vocal pain just to breathe. And so I cut that out, and my voice is it's back to about 60%, which is good considering it was down to about 15-20%.
That's terrible. Yeah.
So I'm hoping in the next month or so, I'm going to be back at where my voice was 15 years ago.
Nice, man.
So I'm hoping, crossing my fingers.
Yeah.
look, vocal health.
Cross
You
your
know,
fingers. Hey,
I
John, how old is the singer in Rage? And forgive me, I'm forgetting his name. How old is
Chuck-
he? Because he still can sing.
Yeah, Chucky's 65, 64, 65.
wow,
Yeah.
that's impressive.
But we've also done we're down a half step, and that was one of the things when I started playing with those guys like a year ago. They're like, you got to tune down. I'm like, what the? And then I quickly got it though. On some of the tunes, you know, those old rock and roll tunes, they get up there.
Oh yeah, it's really difficult.
But it also, Matt, is a good point because it definitely dictates what songs we will cover and which ones we won't. You know,
look,
yeah,
there's certain ones that like, and this is the thing. Like, I'm gonna say something a little bit. I'm gonna say something a little controversial, but like I can understand why cover bands mainly have female singers because they can pretty much cover all those old rock songs, right? They can do Journey, they can do Bon Jovi, they can do all these old stuff, and then they do it. I mean, to be honest with you, I think sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, right? With the female singers doing the male stuff, but it's like that's why it exists because this like it's really hard to find a male singer that can do any of that stuff these days, right? It's, you know,
and let's be honest, most of the guys who are in those cover bands anyway are guys who are old enough that their voices aren't as good as they were.
That's
you know,
that's a really good
when
point,
they were
Ryan.
younger doing that stuff.
No,
so.
it's a good point, dude. Right? It's a really good point, and like I just feel like some of these guys like they don't have any business being in a band, and then you know, in my band, I'm just like, no, I'm not going to do it. Like I'm not going to shout it. Right.
Yeah,
like
don't shred your vocal. Your vocal cords aren't worth. Like, okay, I mention this all the time. Like, first of all, you got to realize a lot of bands, a lot more than people realize that are on these massive 150 date tours a year kind of thing.
Yeah.
They tune down from the record. Like I went to see a band that y'all have probably never heard of, and it's okay if you haven't. I love them. It's a band called Rooney. If anybody remembers Rooney from the 2000s. Really cool, like rock and roll, but like
sounds really familiar.
Kind of a pop vibe to them. I loved them. I thought they were a really good band. If you remember the band The Donnas,
I don't know.
Guitar.
No.
Okay, Donnas was an all-female rock band. They were incredible. You got to go back and listen to their album. They had an album called Stay the Night. Listen to them. They rock really fecking hard. That's an E, not a U, y'all. That's not a cuss word.
Keep it clean on the guitar.
That's an E, not a U. So the guitar players were dating from those two bands. Anyway, neither here nor there. I went to see them. We did some shows in LA and had a night off, and I went to see them at a venue. And I remember going to see them and thinking, this is great, but this isn't quite what I thought. And I got they made a DVD of that concert. And so I bought the DVD because I was there. I was like, that's rad. They're 100% tuned down a whole step.
Wow.
100%.
Wow. Yeah. See, so sometimes that's what it is, right? That's the thing. The Donnas use Michael Krause's thing. The Donnas use Marshall amps.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
It's the type of music, definitely, like somebody was saying earlier, because I saw, and I told you, Matt and Dave before, I saw Tom Petty, like at Fenway Park, maybe like 5 years before he died, and I didn't know what to expect, right? He's old. That whole band is old. They were killing it, though, but his voice is just kind of like that range. He knocked it out of the park, literally.
Wait,
he
so
he was great. Tom Petty.
Tom Petty. Yeah, no, that's.
But he's not a screamer. It's not that hard. It's not Led Zeppelin. And then I told you about the Doobie Brothers. I saw like 2 months ago. Also, four-part harmony. They were killing it, but it's not screaming rock and roll. So those guys are all in their 70s and they're killing it.
Yeah, no, you're right. There's people that are doing it, right?
I mean, I think Phil X would probably have to tune down 5 steps. The strings wouldn't even be attached to the guitar for John to be able to sing.
He's gonna get the baritone.
Well, then you just
not even that. He had like 6 slinkies on it.
So I can't see it doesn't say the name on what I'm seeing, but somebody on Facebook said when I played with 30 Seconds to Mars, they tuned to D standard.
First of all, I want to know who played with 30 Seconds to Mars.
Yeah, who is that? Who is that?
Yeah.
And do you want to come on my podcast?
Yeah, exactly. We need to hear this story. No, come on our podcast right now and tell us the story. Too. Yeah. Jeez. But Jared Leto is a hell of a singer.
Hell of a singer.
Great. Yeah.
That's good because he's a terrible joker.
Wow.
That may be true. That may be, I don't know if I even saw that movie with him as the Joker.
I did. I
It
regret
wasn't good. Yeah, it
And
wasn't
you
good.
regret every minute of it. Yeah.
I left that theater and got angrier as I walked to my car about having gone to see it. I wish I
Jared
were
Leto.
kidding.
But I was shocked with Jared Leto. Like his singing is great, but it doesn't surprise me the notes he's hitting, because the notes he's hitting on those records, it doesn't surprise me that he's tuned down live. I mean, that's very difficult to do consistently. Now, speaking of that, we saw Alter Bridge. John was there last week, and Miles Kennedy brings it right now. I don't know if they're tuned down. They might be. Alter Bridge has all kinds of different tunings, right?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
still, it's like amazing. And I happen to know that with the Slash tunes, they're always tuned down a half step. And he sings those, but like he writes them a half step down. They're like on the records, they're a half step down. So
Yeah.
I mean, he's kind of unbelievable, but talk about someone that takes care of their voice and practice and does the techniques. He never sounds like he's training his voice. So there is a way to do it, but there's also people that like him that I just think are like a freak of nature. Like he can just do it.
they're just,
Yeah.
Don Henley is a freak. Paul Rogers from Bad Company, freak.
Oh, totally.
Freak.
Yeah.
They can
Yeah.
still do it. Like, and that's okay. It's one thing to say, oh, they're still doing it. It's a physiological, like genetic thing. Like there's something about them. Their voices can handle it. Not everyone
Yeah.
can. You look at someone like Adele, who I think no matter what your musical preference is, you can agree she's one of the best singers of the last 20 years.
Oh, totally.
She's had what, 4 vocal surgeries?
Yeah, she had the vocal surgery here in MGH in Boston. Yeah. Just like Steven Tyler did. No, you're right. I mean, you can't sing at that level and not destroy your voice. I told this story on the podcast before.
Although
but
Steven Tyler is close. We heard them when we saw them at
Well, yeah,
Fenway
that's-
in
well, that's where I
September.
was gonna-
He's certainly not what he used to be, but he's not
Well,
that
he's
far off.
got
pretty
the
good.
best. He's got the best voice at his age that modern medicine can provide.
No,
Seriously.
it's a good point. Well,
True.
I went when I had my vocal issue. I went to his vocal coach that kind of rehabbed him after the surgery, and I asked him about it, and he just goes, "Look, the guy's like, it's like Tom Brady. Like, it's kind of unexplainable how he can do what he can do." And he goes, "I don't recommend anybody try to sing like that because you will destroy your voice."
I'm not a Tom Brady fan, but I understand the analogy you're making.
Listen, we're up in the Boston area. We got to mention Tom Brady.
Poor
at least
Glenn's
once
down
in a while.
here as the Australian. He's like, I don't care about.
He's like, "I don't care about this
I don't care
American."
about any of this stuff.
All I know is why do they call it football and they don't use their feet?
It doesn't make any sense.
I actually can explain it, but I don't think it's for this podcast. But it's only because I love football and I'm also a nerd about this stuff.
Message me because we play real football down here.
Okay,
Aussie
well,
rules,
actually, okay,
and
then I'll tell you.
I
Here's the
know.
deal. I'm going to give you.
Aussie
I'm going to
football,
give
yeah,
you like
that's
the
cool stuff.
60-second Reader's Digest version. Here's what happened. Football in England split and became association football, which is what we call soccer, and they called it soccer. The English are to blame for that, and it became rugby, which was also called football. So when they came over to the U.S., Princeton and Columbia adopted rugby into American football, and they maintained the word football, which the English used for both rugby and soccer. So
wait a minute. Are you a librarian?
I am
Okay.
absolutely a librarian.
I feel it was a good explanation, but I feel the same way about that I Bon Jovi.
You don't care.
You don't care either.
It's not your fault.
Yeah.
But-
Well, but that's the origin of the names. That's all I can tell
I'd
you.
rather watch NFL. Than
No,
Bon
that's a
Jovi,
good
though.
story. I like that.
I would also prefer to watch the NFL than Bon Jovi.
Lynn, what do you?
watch
I'd rather
rugby.
see. I'd rather
watch
see
a rugby
Tom Brady
match.
sing Bon Jovi songs than listen to Bon Jovi.
I am on Glenn's train.
Yes, no,
Glenn, tell us what's going on down there in Australia. What's going on in the music scene down there post pandemic?
We're pretty much back to full concerts indoors, no problem. We took my eldest kid to see a band called Mother Mother from Canada last week. 3,000 seat
okay.
stadium, no problem at all.
Cool.
I saw the last 2 Midnight Oil concerts down here recently, and
Yeah.
they're big. So we have no problem. Yeah, I live in Melbourne, which was the world's most longest lockdown place. During the pandemic. So
really?
we were.
Okay.
I think we were locked down for 300 days or something.
Wow.
Yeah, and you weren't allowed to leave your house pretty much. So we know what it was like. You know, we didn't really have much major outbreak, but we had a lot of lockdown. So, but now everyone's sort of given up. It's just back to normal reality, and let people fall dead wherever they lie. You know.
Yeah, man.
I know not
So
everyone.
Midnight Oil was good though, then, huh? Because Michael in the chat says he saw Midnight Oil as well, and the harmonies were flawless.
Oh, they were excellent. Yeah, they were still. Yeah, but it's saying going back to having a voice. I mean, he's not a young guy anymore, but the register to which he sang at allows him to sing that register much longer in life.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I was thinking the same, which about Roger Waters before, totally different style of music, but his voice hasn't changed in 50 years.
Is it kosher to talk about Roger Waters anymore?
Yeah.
Tough subject. We talked about that last week.
We touched on that. Yeah.
I'm only up to episode 42 of your podcast, so I'm like 58 behind. But
dude,
I've listened to 42 episodes in the 4 weeks since I found you. So you know that's all I dream about you guys.
Okay, that's
you know?
okay.
Our sincere apologies that you've had to put up with us 42 times.
Apologize to my wife.
Listen, I don't know when Philip came on, but it was past 40, I think.
Yeah, so that's the crazy thing. Like, I think I didn't start listening to y'all's podcast, and I still don't listen to every episode because I don't listen to every episode of any podcast. But
exactly, that's okay. We get it.
Yeah, but I don't listen to every episode of my own podcast, and I was there.
That's true. That's true. I feel the same. We don't either. Yeah.
Somebody told me when you edit, you should actually listen to your whole episode. I said, "Are you crazy? I was there." Yeah. Anyway, but I like started listening after that. So Glenn's not even at the point that I started listening, so he's listening to more than me. But
oh man, you're listening to the raw stuff.
I'm gonna do them all.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's like Glenn, me, man. We appreciate it, dude.
You're gonna hear the evolution.
I went back on my podcast.
I'm gonna say though, I do a podcast and I'm about 560 episodes in. I've never listened to one episode. I get someone else to do the.
What's your podcast?
What's the podcast?
Photography. I'm a photographer. So.
You're a photographer. So it's a photography podcast. Oh, that's awesome. Well,
what's the name of the show?
Well, we stopped talking about photography in about episode 30, and now we just talk crap for the last 530 odd episodes. You know.
So it's like chasing tone.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's awesome, Glenn. That was so you're a longtime podcaster, dude. Wow, that's wild. Yeah.
But not really, because I've only started listening to podcasts recently, and I've never listened. I've recorded them for years and never listened to one.
And
so.
never.
That's
okay,
normal.
Interesting. Yeah,
that's normal. Yeah. That's totally normal. I with podcasting, it's such a weird place though. I listen to only gear podcasts. That's all I listen to anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I only listen to. Well, I say gear. I only listen to music podcasts. So I listen to a few others, but I even went back to my first few episodes before I started having guests on, which is like the first 4 or 5, and I added an apology at the beginning of my episodes on all of the streaming service. We're like, hey, if you've gone back this far, I appreciate it. But you need to skip forward to episode 6. Because that's when things actually started. Yeah, till it became what it is. Like, it was a weird time. Starting a podcast is hard, guys. Y'all know this. Y'all are this far in. It's the first few episodes. You're still learning what the hell you're doing.
Yeah, no, it's true, man. True. We didn't really know what the hell we were doing. We had an idea, but we didn't really know what we were doing. And Dave really, Glenn, I don't think Dave got his audio right until what episode? Like 50? I mean, the audio
99.
Yeah, you're not
there.
Glenn knows it's not there yet.
It's true.
So Glenn, let me tell you the story about what happened.
I didn't have a very good teacher, Dave, Glenn. I'm sorry.
Dave, I'm sorry. This is gonna be embarrassing to you, Dave, but I'm gonna do it anyway. It's episode 100. Yeah. So Dave had I don't think I had this mic yet, but I had my
okay, hold on. I want to preface this by saying it worked fine, and then there was something that screwed it up.
All right.
For a while,
of course.
Go ahead. You can tell the story now.
I had my 58 that I was using because I was and then I had a Sennheiser mic, and I'm like, Dave, you really? Because Dave had a cheap mic he bought on Amazon for $20, and I'm like, okay, that probably is going to be okay. And it sounds like shit. Then I'm like, okay, let's go. And he has the Focusrite. He has a Focusrite audio interface that he's using. I'm like, why does this sound like shit? Then I gave him I'm like, here, take my mic and let's see if it's working. sounds like shit again. And I'm like, what? And then finally, did I go? I think I went over there and I screwed around with it, and he didn't have his laptop pointing to the Focusrite as the sound card.
Oh, so he's still using the laptop.
It was
audio.
still the laptop the whole time. All this trial and error.
Not the whole time. We did fix it at some. We did fix it at some point, and we had to make we had to make a small adjustment to something. I forget what it was, and ever since, and then at that point,
we were using Studio One to record. We used Studio One. I love.
But
Studio
we had it
One.
all set up. Studio One was all set up, and then we did something, and then the mic switch happened, and I never switched it back to point to that mic. And then we're like, "What? Why does it sound like shit?"
Well, it didn't recognize, it just didn't recognize that you had a Focusrite plugged in.
It wasn't automatic. Yeah, it should have been automatic.
So we finally fixed it, and then the rest is history. Yeah. So Glenn, just skip ahead, dude.
I can't do it. I can't. My OCD doesn't allow that.
Wow, good for you.
I can appreciate that.
We love you, man. That's really nice of you to listen.
Glenn, do you have?
I can appreciate that.
Do you have a flip phone? I'm just kidding. I was just kidding. But you know what happened? Because I'll tell that story. But then tonight I got a webcam, kind of I don't know what quality it is. It came from work, and I haven't used it for work because we haven't been using our cameras. But I put it on for tonight. And I said, I'll get this thing working. Plug it in. Plug the USB port. Here I go. Well, it doesn't register. It won't recognize it. It's still using my same stupid one. And so that's why the lighting looks like I'm in the Batcave or something tonight. So I totally get the technology thing. I thought it was plug and play. It wasn't. What I did is I went back to a previous podcast I was on with you guys, Matt.
Yeah.
I clicked the link, and when I clicked the link, the Zoom recognized the camera, and I was messing around with the settings. But just me messing around without being in a meeting, so to speak, it didn't work. So I totally get the technology stuff. And I get that, Glenn, you're just throwing the flag in and going, F it, not doing it. And not doing it.
Not doing it. I love it. But so that was really funny. So on that first part of the podcast, we fought through the technical issues. And then we finally resolved that Dave's got his nice whatever Shure mic that is now. It's all working. It's all working very nice.
I'm so proud of y'all for graduating to adult mics.
Just honest to begin with.
You've now set the expectation for me that it's going to get better. And
it's gonna. Oh wow, I don't know about that. The content, audio quality, yes. Content, probably not. So that's sorry to say.
No. The content's a very solid, straight line. We're just
slow.
It's more like this. More like
it's kind of down. Yeah.
As long as it's a gradual decline.
No one notices.
You're all set. Just.
Yeah, no, it's what it is. It's what it is. So I don't know what else we got.
It's been fun. It's been a fun ride.
Yeah. So
what's your other news cover, Dave? So that's pretty much all we. I mean, we could talk Super Bowl.
Okay, here's the
Let's
topic.
Not go over that again.
Here's a topic. I posted it today in the Facebook group. What do you guys
think? This
thing, this IK multimedia.
I almost posted this yesterday.
The profiler. What do you think?
Game changer.
Yes, it is a game changer.
Do you think so, for real?
No, okay. So here's the deal. Until now,
I think it could be.
It's until now, amp capturing was relegated to a Kemper or a Quad Cortex. That's it. And there's a couple of videos out right now
for a lot of money.
Yeah, for a lot. For way
$400,
a whole lot of money. At $400, which I think you actually need something else to do the capture. Don't quote me. I don't know. I need to watch more videos. And I watched one today with headphones to actually hear the sound quality. Yeah, it's there.
Is it good?
I did not think it would be good based on previous IK multimedia sound effects. I didn't think it would be good. It is there. It is going to absolutely disrupt the market. I'm sorry, Helix, you waited too long. I'm sorry, After Effects, you waited too long.
No.
Oh, wait. And UA Audio. UA Audio, you waited too long.
Thank you. Well, I was just going to, that's a great point you bring up, Philip, because I'm saying this now. If you're Line 6 right now, if you're Roland Yamaha, you are pissed. You're like, wow, we these guys are going to eat our lunch now.
Yep.
If this
completely missed the boat.
If this is good, then we're kind of screwed, especially because it's a little box and it really is going to compete with the HX Stomp, which is I have the HX Stomp. I love it, right? So it's just gonna take this all if it's really good capture technology, which you're saying it is. I haven't heard it.
From what I heard, I've not done it.
I mean,
I've not used it. And also, I'll tell you, up until the release of this box, I still, even though I don't own one anymore, I've owned 2 of them. I still called the HX Stomp the best value in guitar gear on the market, period.
Yep.
This thing's about to change all that.
I agree with you.
So Matt,
it's crazy.
Matt, if the capture is really good on this thing, are you going to get one to try it?
Hands down, I will buy
$400?
one. Yeah. Oh yeah. Hands down. It's like this is an easy decision, right? If I can get my Jubilee sound the way I like it, if I can get much better, models from the community out there that I can use with the band live, because that's we use direct things live. We don't use amps live. I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna do it, right?
Jim.
What's Jim saying? Jim. So Jim Gorman. Everybody's got to know Jim Gorman is our good buddy that Dave and I went to high school with.
Oh, gotcha.
He's not a guitar player, but
so that's why he's busting y'all up over here.
He's only on the bus.
He's definitely a first class troll, though. That's for sure.
He's a total.
Love it.
He's a professional troll on Twitter. You can find him at Jim G Patriots.
Jim G Patriots on Twitter.
Oh, a Patriots troll.
Yeah,
I'm definitely
he's
not
Patriots
following you
man.
now, Jim.
He's a Patriots guy. Axe body sprays. Look at you.
But yeah,
I
think in the chat earlier that was in Western Mass.
Somebody was. I can't remember.
Is that Michael?
Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
But, no.
But yeah. So
no, it's whoever played with 30 seconds to Mars.
This little box is going to change the entire complexion of the capture game, because what they've done is that they've proven you can do it in a less than $1,000 platform.
So, no, I think you're right. Yeah,
I mean, kind of the whole thing in a way, right?
I think how much is the Quad Cortex these days? Is it about $2,000 now?
It's $1,700.
Okay,
it creeped up to over 2,000 because there was limited supply, but they've caught up with that now, so you can actually buy one new when you want it.
Okay,
so it's 1,700-ish.
1,700, but yeah, so you're talking almost $2,000.
Yeah,
and this thing is $400, and you don't even need the box to do the captures if you just want to use it for recording, because they have a software package that does the captures alone. That's only $150.
Oh yeah, you can do captures without the box. The
yeah,
box is only to use those in your rig.
That's right. I think this is game changing. So
100%, 100%, and it's only lacking one thing, and it is sort of a marginally big thing, but it's not going to be enough to push people away. It doesn't have an effects loop, so you can't put something between the amp and the speaker. But I mean, that's here nor there. That's some people,
number of people away.
It could be, but here's the deal: like if you're going to use it with effects, if you go the studio route, you put certain effects after the speaker. Right, like in a studio, and then you put some, before. Anyway, you can still route it and do a few things.
I see what you're saying. You can still route it around and do it. Does it have effects like the Helix does, like the HX?
I've only listened to the amp modules.
I haven't. I have to do some research on this thing, because I agree with you. I'm really intrigued by this. So we talked to two. We talked to the LA Maybe, which Dave has the shirt on the podcast. They were using Quad Cortex, and these guys are like hardcore, hard rock guys. They love their big amps. They play Marshall stacks in the studio, and that's what they record. When they go out on the road, they use a Quad Cortex, and they did their own image,
they
capture. They did the capture of their own amps in their studio, and they doing it. And then we had this band on from Toronto a few weeks back called the Commoners. We didn't get it on the pod. We didn't, because we had the bassist and the drummer on, so we just didn't think to get into gear. and then we asked them. No offense, John, but then we asked.
You started out right. You start from the foundation, and then you add the icing on the top and the cherries and the sprinkles.
But we didn't. But then we get off, and he goes, "Oh, guys, you should have asked us about gear." And I was like, "What are you guys doing?" And they say the whole band is on the Quad Cortex, including the bassist.
Oh,
so that's what they do. That's
sorry.
I think you guys are right. This is
John Burnett. You're old school, man, but you also have lost your hearing too. So
here's the deal. we've been having this conversation about the whole live and people using modelers and using real amps. And I've got a buddy of mine that probably goes to, I don't know, 80 to 100 shows a year. He's not a musician. He just goes to hear bands live. That's his whole thing. And every year at the end of the year, he does his year in review and rates like the concerts he went to. But he's like, I asked him, and I'm having him keep track this year. I'm having him keep account of going to see a band live. How many times did you see someone using a real amp, or how many times did you see someone with no amps on stage? Well, he told me last year he saw no one who played an electric instrument who didn't have an amp on stage.
Interesting.
So I think it's almost like a regional or a stylistic thing. Like everybody was like, oh, well, everybody's just going to ampless. No, actually, they're still in the minority.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I think you're exactly right about that.
For sure.
You still got the amps going.
Yeah,
so like as an example, when we saw Alter Bridge and Mammoth last week, Mammoth is just balls out, amps on stage, loud. You could tell the stage was loud ass. I mean, I think they did have did they have in-ears in? I can't. Everybody has long hair.
They were all in-ears.
You can never tell what the hell
they were all in-ears.
They
were all in-ears.
But then I know Alter Bridge has their amps blaring on stage too, but they're all on in-ears too.
Well, so in-ears is fine. I don't care.
Direct. Yeah.
I don't care about the in-ears thing. It's just real amps. I almost bought a half stack today. Real amps. Hashtag team real amps.
Was it something bougie though, Philip?
You're such a purist, Philip.
Was it bougie, Philip? Because we had when we had Rick on from Honey Picks, he said I'm kind of bougie.
I know that I am a bougie guitarist. And it's like I don't hate on anyone using budget gear. Like that's not my thing. I don't hate less expensive gear. I've just been doing this long enough, and I don't play music full time as my gig anymore. I have a full-time job. Way I tell people, it's like I don't have kids and I make adult money. So I spend it on things I like that make me happy, and it's bougie gear.
And you should.
And I buy and sell into the gear I want. It's like
yes, you do. Yes, you
do. I don't buy a lot of new gear. I usually have traded into or
you gotta flip stuff.
Yeah. But long play. I've been doing this for 24 years now. So
Philip, for those of you that don't know, Philip had these two beautiful. This is a great example, Philip. These two beautiful Cower guitar. You guys know about Cower guitars?
And if you don't know about Cower, you need to, because I will own another one. I will buy another one.
He had these gorgeous Cower guitars, the Banshee, and then what was the other one?
I had a Super Chief.
A Super Chief and a Banshee, and he goes and trades these things, and I'm like, "What are you doing, man?" Mm-hmm. And he did it, and he got some beautiful Gibsons.
I traded it for my new guitar. I would like save from a burning house. Like that's the level it took to get those Cowers out of my hands.
Dude.
Was to get this guitar, the 335, the 58 reissue 335 that I've got. It passed my Novo as if the house is burning, this is the guitar that gets saved.
Nice.
I told my wife, I'm not even kidding. I told Kelly, I was like, if the house is on fire and I'm not here, this is the one.
So is anyone gonna save their fancy new pedal in their in-ear BS setup?
No. I think the answer is no.
It's you know what? No, John, I think you're hitting on something important about all that, and that is that everything we're doing with the modeling. Oh, geez, I just saw Honey Pick's comment. That's hilarious. Rick's here. Yeah, Rick's here. He's a bougie dude.
We hit on the bouginess, Rick. We hit on that earlier too.
And anyway, but I was going to finish my thought. All this stuff, like the modeling and all these pedals, it's there to emulate all the amps that we love, right? So. It's like it's more about convenience and just being lazy somewhat about it and not wanting to lug this stuff around and deal with loud stages and deal with all these things, right? So that that's what it is. It's convenience factor. And it comes to the point where it's like, does this sound good enough or not? And a lot of players, to Philip's point, says no, it doesn't, and I need to feel the air and I need to do it. So
did either of you listen? Did anybody listen to that pedal show today? Anybody watch the episode from today?
Oh, I didn't watch it today.
So for those we're recording on a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And they had Pete Thorne on today. and they were talking about the fact that they're doing the rock and roll, like classic rock tour over in the UK, or I think they finished now, but they were talking about, they take real amps and they crank them up and they play the real thing. And they asked him about that, and he said, he's talking to and then Pete says, in talking to Rick Beato, he asked Rick sort of that, what happened to rock and roll? And Rick Beato's answer was, at some point, rock and roll became more about convenience.
Yeah.
And it's so true.
Yeah. I think that's true.
Yeah.
And I think, if
so
you
true.
if you think about gear in terms of how much it weighs, you're kind of an old guy.
I'm an old guy who doesn't care. I still
is it about convenience?
Yeah.
Wait. What does that mean, Matt? Because
dude, you go around the internet enough, and you're gonna hear people say like, "I'm not buying that amp. It's too heavy. I don't want to lug it around." It's like a real thing because it is.
Let me ask you
when
a
you
question.
think about
But
it,
I mean, that was true for me quite a long time ago. I mean,
was it Ryan? Were you not into that either?
What?
Yeah.
I gigged for a
understand
short
it.
time with a Pro Reverb. It was like an 81 Pro Reverb, and I didn't. That was a great amp, but I only gigged with it for so long because I got so sick and tired of pulling that thing out of my trunk and lugging it in.
Weak.
Yeah.
Weak.
Yeah.
Just, no. Pro Reverb is the sound of ages. That was Pete Anderson's sound with Dwight Yoakam. That was the sound.
Yeah, and the second thing about that amp in particular is I never had it past 3 anywhere I played,
Okay.
whether it was a big stage or a
So then
small
it's not
stage.
really
fair. But
all right. Let's talk
But is
about
it
something else
convenience,
along
or
these
is it
lines.
like, or are you just changing with the times, like, and you're taking advantage of technology, right? I mean,
Yeah,
I think there's definitely
that's a big
there's
part
definitely a big part of that, because
you
I
can
mean, if you don't
around
need to
those
be
big
lugging these massive amps, yeah,
This is my whole point. This is why
you don't
they're
need
so
to do
popular.
it. If you don't need to do it, and you can get the
And
same
it's
sound,
cost.
and if
And it's
99% of the audience can't tell the difference, right?
Whoa,
then
hold
what
on,
are you
hold
really
on.
doing it?
Wait. I'll say one thing, Dave. And Matt. So
we talked about this. It changes the way you play as a player. It changes how you play.
It doesn't matter what the audience.
I've never tried the in-ears.
It doesn't matter what the audience. Yeah.
I haven't tried the pedals to emulate different amps, so I have to do that first before I can really talk on it. So I'm just going to put that disclaimer in. But
yeah, no, I get it. John.
There's a fine line there between. You do have to talk about weight, because why carry around those big heavy bass cabinets when you can buy newer ones that are much cheaper, and the heads now fit in a backpack. The head I use now fits in a backpack. The head I used to carry almost took 2 people. It was stupid.
That's dumb. That's dumb.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I use the new technology because it's
lighter. Are you raising your hand, Philip?
Okay, you in the back of the room.
All right, Philip. We'll call on you. Go ahead, man.
So here's the deal. Here's the thing. And
right,
this is going to seem rude. This is going to seem rude. I don't give a shit about what the audience tells the difference in. So that's the thing. Like, here's the deal. The songs I play, the gigs I pick, the show I put on, that's for the audience. The gear I play is for me to make playing enjoyable and exciting to me.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh no, I agree with you, Philip. I totally agree.
No, that's
because the audience doesn't care at the end of the day.
The audience doesn't care.
Yeah.
No,
if it sounds good,
it's about you as the player and what you're willing to accept or not accept.
And if playing a quad cortex and doing the silent stage thing and doing in-ears, if that works for you and you're still excited to play and all those things, if that is awesome, I am actually super pumped for you, and I genuinely wish that was me, because that would be way more convenient for my life.
It's convenient. We've talked about this offline, Philip.
Matt, is it you? Let me ask you,
very
Matt,
important.
If you were moving air on stage, wouldn't you be a lot more
Dave,
satisfied
because it's
with
your
playing?
No, because it's the singing. It's the singing, right? If I didn't,
you're playing guitar too.
If I could only play guitar and not be a singer, I would want to move air all day long. But if I have to hear myself sing, the in-ears are like the greatest thing that's ever happened, because for me, like playing in loud rock bands, the monitors, the wedges were never loud enough, and the sound guys were always like, it's too loud on stage, and I'm like, F you, I can't hear myself, and then I ultimately hurt my voice. Glenn,
you're right. You're just as a quick
All
side,
right, okay.
Matt,
Quick, don't
those
get the
things
win.
don't have to be exclusive of each other. You can use in-ears and a real amp.
Right.
That's true. No, that's a great
right.
point. Great
That's
point.
right.
Great point. Great point. Yeah.
Yep.
Go ahead, Glenn.
We have the same
All right, what's up,
discussions
Glenn?
in the photography world, in the photo world. I don't want to carry it, it's too heavy. I don't want that because I don't want old school stuff. I want new school stuff. It's exactly the same conversation. It's about how much stuff you need to carry around to get the job done, and that people will always sacrifice the right tool for the job for the convenience of a lesser tool, but it's lighter and easier to carry. I'm old school. I'll always carry the weight to get the right tool for the job. And, and it makes a difference. It makes a damn big difference because, as I said, I try and get 6 to 10 great photos a year, and if I'm limiting myself with the gear I'm using to get those 6 to 10 shots, the likelihood of getting them is is reduced significantly. So it's the same. You hear the same conversations across different kind of fields.
I bet.
Technology, new technology where it's smaller, more convenient versus tried and true, I guess.
Yeah. No, I think that's right, Glenn. Yeah. And so, Philip, I want to call you out on this because I think it's hilarious. You guys really bash those Fender Tone Masters. And the biggest thing.
Oh, I knew you were going to go here. Yeah.
The biggest thing on the Fender Tone Master is the weight of it. It's like a feather.
Yeah.
Compared to, you're right.
Yeah.
So
you know what?
So,
if the best selling point you have for your amp is the weight, you have a shit amp.
you heard it here in the Guitar Dance podcast.
If the best thing you can say about an amplifier is that it's light, it's not good.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, do I think they can sound good? Yes. Do they sound like the amps they are emulating? No.
Okay.
All
right.
day.
So I haven't tried one, so I have to believe you.
I have tried. I don't
you.
like the Tone Master.
I have put them up against the real deal, and they do not sound the same. Can they sound good? Yes. I'm okay with that. That's fine. You can use those if you need the convenience of the lightweight. I get it. I still don't understand a Princeton Reverb Tone Master.
So I know. I got a real one. It's pretty light.
Yeah, right. I've got a boutique Princeton Reverb. It's not that heavy. And you already had the deluxe Tone Master. Do you really need the Princeton as well? I mean,
I know. You know what? I'm with you on this, Philip. I always thought it was BS. And this is
but there's a market for that, and people are very obsessed.
Yeah, but this is another thing I want to bring up, which is
with
I don't believe the YouTubers that said these were just as good. I just don't believe the YouTubers.
They're not just as good.
Good for you guys.
Yeah,
and you know what? You know what, Matt? I like the blend of the in-ears for the vocals. That's huge.
Yeah.
If I could try that, and I told you that, I would definitely try that, but I still need some kind of amp. I'm not.
No, and there's plenty of things to do that.
To Philip's point, I don't play out that much anymore. So if I do, I'm playing with my shit. I'm not going to show up with a little box and say, "Can you go direct to the board?" I would not respect myself in the morning if I show up with a little box and people are like, "Where's the bass? Where's the bass player? Oh, he's in the little box. You can hear him out front. Go back to the bar and you can hear the bass."
I play 15 to 20 gigs a year. I'm gonna take the stuff that makes me excited to play.
Yeah, I hear you guys. I think it's a legit.
Robert,
definitely legit. What did Robert say?
He said the Princeton Reverb Tone Master is a deluxe Reverb Tone Master for people that can't come up with another $50.
You know,
come up with another $50.
Robert's got it. I think Robert brings up a great point. I don't see the point of these effing amps because they're just as expensive almost.
Oh, that's a sore subject. Don't get me there.
It's kind of like answering a question nobody asked.
Yes, it solves a problem no one had.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys are awesome. I love how it's interesting, right? Because look, and I love all our YouTube friends. They're amazing guys.
Mm-hmm.
But I gotta say, I think that Will was pulled over our eyes on this thing. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah, and so here's the thing. It's like, I get it. There are definitely people who don't want to carry around the weight of the amp, and they sound good enough for them. And you know what? That's amazing. If that amp suits your needs, please use it. Please use whatever tool does the job for you. I'm not telling someone to not use it. What I'm angry at, I'm answering. We're having therapy right here. I'm actually admitting to myself I'm a little angry about it.
Get it up. Get it out.
Is that Fender tries to say
Philip.
that
Just lay
these
down
are
and get it
as
out.
good as the tube heavy legit, and they may be as good, but they're different. They're not the same.
Yeah.
So stop trying to say.
Maybe they're not using the right term.
Oh, 100%.
Maybe it should be good. Maybe they should be saying it's good enough,
Well,
right?
that's
Is
the way
it
I
good
felt about
enough
the
to do
St.
the
James.
job? That's a different story.
I felt the same way about the St. James from Black Star. That is a great amp that they keep talking about the weight of. I don't care what it weighs. It sounds good.
That's not,
yeah, sounds good. So
that's not.
I
so in the comments there was a question about Jared James Nickel Black Stars. That's different than the St. James, right? That's a different.
Yeah, no. The St. James is an all tube. They've done something that I don't fully understand. I'm hoping to get someone from Black Star on the podcast to explain it to me.
Nice, do it. Yeah, do it.
But they don't use a traditional transformer, so they save a lot of weight in the traditional transformer. It's still an all tube circuit. But
interesting.
I'm not an electrical engineer, although I have several listeners and Patreon supporters who are electrical engineers, and they love to call me out when I say something wrong. Great, believe me, I love it.
Go back to something Glenn said earlier. Rob, he carries a heavier gear because he knows. To me, it goes back to confidence, right? And you're confident in your gear, and you go out and you take your photos, and you because you put a lot of time, effort, and energy into it. It's your passion. Same thing with the music or whatever it is you're chasing. So if you got something that works, do you give a crap how much if it's going to cost a little more or be a little bit harder to carry? No.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good point.
You do it. It's a confidence thing to me, and you guys know playing music. If you're not confident in what's going on behind you or your sound, sound person, it's a new. And we talked about this, Matt. A sound person. You can't say sound guy anymore, but you have a sound person out there, and if they're just not dialing it in or you're not confident, you're just up there like, what the fuck am I doing? What the fuck am I doing up here? Because I'm playing all this stuff. It could sound like mush. It just sounds like mush.
Say it. It's episode 100.
No, you're right. So you're right. So, the sound guys are everything. This is why, and it is true that in-ears doesn't mean you have to use modelers. It just makes modelers, for me, easier to use. But, in-ears, I think for that reason is really important because you can really dial in your mix that you're hearing on stage. Now, you have to have faith that, what's going out front is good, because you can't hear it, So I mean, it's tough. So, but yeah, I mean, the sound guy thing is a very complicated situation. So, but that's why I like the in-ear situation too. And you could mic up your amp and hear it in your in-ears. You can do that. And like Philip said, it's what it is.
Exactly right.
We talked about going to different concerts, and if the sound isn't right, it's just like, what am I doing here? Why am I standing in front of this crap?
It's so true.
I can't do it.
So many shows. It's so true.
I agree with you.
Ben and I have been in many shows where we stand there and it's terrible. And it's like, and it really, when the sound is, and we're like, we're sound snobs. And when the sound isn't like really up to par for us, it's like, it kind of just ruins the whole show. And there's something to be said about that because.
But you never do it. But you want to find the sound board, the sound table, and go, dude, can you turn the freaking bass down a little bit? I've never do it, but it's just off. And you go, they're going to dial it in within 3 or 4 songs, and they don't, and they don't.
Oh, and then you're like, this sucks.
Yeah,
and people. So we in a
room. I was at the House of Blues in Boston. I saw a band. They were killing it, and And I went back a couple years later. The band came through again, and I saw them, and the mix was off, and it just was like, you are killing this band.
I'll tell you,
you are killing it.
Yep. It's pretty well known that the sound at the TD Garden up here in Boston, the big arena, where the Celtics and Bruins play and where all the big concerts are, the sound is generally pretty bad. I mean, it's not depending where you sit, but most of the time it's pretty horrible. And Matt and I agree on this, the only time we've ever really seen a band that sounded amazing there, and so that tells us that it's possible, is U2, and that was a long time ago. But they sounded amazing.
But
the other thing for bands to be sound is it just a matter of like, is it their sound production is isn't up to par, or is it?
Yeah,
Is
that's
it
that's what it
they
is.
don't care enough to dial in the
Yeah.
the sound, or what is it?
You know what I think
it's
about
really
you?
annoying when you go to a show there.
You're right. And one thing I've always thought about you too, I've seen him. I haven't seen him in a long time, but I've seen him 3 times, and I've seen him in the Garden. But they're a great arena band because of the sound of their music. It's that edge ringing guitar sound. It just rings. It fills up the whole room. It's a different kind of band. You know, their sound is kind of wide open, and they kind of fill those arenas pretty well. I've always thought that's why they sounded good. Maybe it's their sound person.
Yeah, I agree, because
Yeah,
I've seen him at Gillette Stadium in the, you know, where the Patriots play, and it was horrible, and I had pretty good seats, and they we had bad seats, but we made our way down to the good seats, and the sound wasn't that good, and I'll never forget the show at the Garden that I saw back in 2005, and it was probably the best show I've ever heard, like sound wise, at the Garden. So we know that it's possible, and it's just a matter of
place.
So you guys think it's a matter of like the sound guys just don't care, or they just don't have the skill enough to dial in that
They
kind
have
of
to care.
an arena.
I think some of these bands, they just have sound guys that just get it as loud as they can and call it good. Really, because the Topeka Expo Center here is that way too. I've seen a few shows there, and they all sound horrible because it's a big echoey room, and you can't even understand what they're singing because they just turn it all the way up and call it good. Oh, this is rock and roll. Let's just crank it.
That's just evil.
That's right.
That is just evil. Yeah.
Yeah, and it does no justice to the bands. And it doesn't do justice for the
You're
fans.
right. It doesn't.
The fans came there to see the music, and they can't even understand it because it's so loud.
I hate that. That brings me back to my rock and roll club
Phillip,
days.
your arm's just gonna.
I know,
fall
Philip,
off.
you're killing me. That brings me back to my rock and roll club days where it was just too loud. Yeah, go ahead, Philip. Fine.
Well,
all right, fine. I called on you.
So here's the deal. That's exactly my argument. I want to know where all of these silent stage players are playing besides church, because I've done the silent stage church gig thing. Besides church, where are you playing that you trust your fecking sound guy enough, or you have a good enough sound guy to do that? Because
you know what
I
it is,
don't play
Phillip?
those gigs. Most of the places I play, if there's more than the kick drum and vocals in the mains, we're lucky.
Yeah.
Well, somebody in the chat said they saw Muse at the TD Garden, and I would love to see Muse. Muse is one of those to me, I wouldn't say bucket list, but
so I don't think Jonathan put his name up on. I can see him on.
Yeah,
Facebook.
why is it coming up as Facebook
Jonathan.
user?
Okay,
Jonathan. So yeah,
he has to give StreamYard access. Yeah,
that's StreamYard.
Yeah,
it's a StreamYard thing. Sorry,
I would love
dude.
to see Muse. I mean, I think Matt Bellamy is a completely underrated guitarist. I mean, what that guy does. I mean, if you guys out there aren't Muse fans, get on the Muse wagon because they just kill it. They really. I mean, in live, I've pulled up so many clips on YouTube. I've watched DVDs, Blu-rays, all that stuff. And Muse is one of those bands that I just have to go see.
Oh yeah, they're incredible.
I need to give them another shot. They got a bad rap because of a particular author that loved them. Yeah, for me, like I had this negative connotation because of a specific author who seemed to just talk about them at every turn, and I hate her books. So I hated Muse for a while because of her, by proxy.
That's like the thing. That's like the thing where it's like, oh, my college roommate played this band so much, and now I hate them.
Oh my gosh,
that's like that thing.
Yes.
It's like
Dave Matthews Band. I'll never listen to him again.
I was gonna say, for most people, that's Dave Matthews Band.
Matt and Dave, we had a good. On last Wednesday when we went to that concert, we saw some band. Red started out, and then
let's not talk about them.
Well, but then Wolfie's band came out, and then Alter Bridge, and I'd never seen Wolfie's band. Mammoth.
Interesting fact. So interesting fact about Mammoth.
Okay, go ahead with the fact.
And then I'm gonna let you go, John.
You use the Google machine.
I use the Google machine. It turns out that Mammoth was originally the name of Van Halen, which I never knew.
Correct.
But that's why he named himself the band Mammoth.
Correct.
I never even knew that. Anyway,
all right, go ahead, John. What were you going to say?
Go ahead, John. Go ahead. Yeah, Mammoth. Yeah, okay.
So for not knowing those bands, so I don't want to sound like I'm 100. I'm closing in on it, but I didn't know the bands. I had not heard them before, so I went with an open mind. The first band Red, okay, they were just loud as AF, right?
Oh, terrible.
But they had great stage presence. They were jumping up on little boxes. It was like a little bit of Cirque du Soleil or whatever the hell, right?
Yeah,
and then Wolfie came out and he had great stage presence and the sound got better. So I kept thinking like the sound engineers are dialing it. Their sound was a little better, but then the third band, Alter Bridge, the sound was dialed in. In fact, I was mentioning to you guys.
Well, the openers never sound great, right?
Yeah, but
they're just not going to get the great sound.
Is that so? Let's talk about that. Is that a thing?
Yeah, it is a thing. It is a thing. It definitely is a thing. But what I'm saying is, for whatever reason, and when you're the headliner, that shit happens. You should be getting a few breaks.
Well,
right? And so, but one of the things I'll say real quick.
Yeah, but
the use of dynamics by Alter Bridge, where they would come down, the whole band got soft, and then they would build and punch into the chorus and stuff. Like that was so noticeable. It was a combination of their sound, people getting it together, and the band having good dynamics. They were clearly the better band. Clearly the better band, and their songs were more. More like they had more of a hook. They had more of a.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah,
I like Wolfie's band, but the last band was in Miles is great. So
I gotta tell you the truth about
John.
Wolfie,
John, as we were telling, hold on, Matt. Let me just point out. I want to point out something because it kind of dovetails. It dovetails into what Ryan was saying about just cranking things loud. And we told you, John, when we saw Mammoth when we saw the Young Guns tour with Dirty Honey and Mammoth last year,
we had to mention Dirty Honey episode 100.
I have never ever been to and Dirty Honey. You got to mention Dirty Honey episode. I've never ever heard a band as loud, a show as loud as when Wolfie came on. It was I couldn't hear. It was that bad. It was that loud, and it was amazing. But the sound at the same time, Ryan, to your point, like it was cranked, but you could hear everything crystal clear. The sound was amazing, and I didn't want to put in earplugs because I just wanted everything to just like wash over me.
I'll tell you this though, when we saw him then, he didn't have Frank Sidora, so he only had two. It was himself playing guitar and his other guitarist. I don't think he needs three guitars on stage with him. It was a little bit much. Like, I know he's trying to recreate what he's doing on the albums, but there was a little mud going on at some, like, I remember I listened to the album after I saw them. I listened to the album again and I was like, oh my God, like I didn't get any of these dynamics live because it was like a full on three guitars just like hitting you so hard, you know? And it's like, it's like, I don't need three guitars, you know?
It's a joint responsibility between the band and the people mixing the sound to use those dynamics. Like the band has to know how to use dynamics, and then the sound people need to know how to dial in the mix and make sure you can hear the lows to the high. That the bottom, like when Wolfie's band was playing, the bottom was just a mushing, pounding, like the walls were shaking. I couldn't hear the bass. But then when Alter Bridge came on, that guy actually was playing, and you could hear what he was playing. And
I think a lot of that.
Brian Marshall is an incredible bassist.
They were a step up. There's no doubt. And now I saw these guys on one night. So is that fair? No, but hey, there it is. I judged it.
Jim says you're just too damn loud. Huey Lewis, Back to the Future. That's right. Good shout out. Back to the Future shout out. So, well done, Jim.
Part of the problem with those situations are Alter Bridge is the headliner. They're providing the sound guy. And if Wolfie's band was on most of the tour with them, that audio engineer got used to that band. But a lot of times, especially in a 3-band bill like that opening band is with them for 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 shows.
And
that
nobody
audio
knows
engineer
their music.
Nobody knows their music.
Great point, dude.
He doesn't know how to dial them in the way he's paid to dial in the headliner. So it's not like, as a former audio engineer, they're not actively trying to make the opening band sound bad. They just have less time to learn how to dial them in.
I agree.
That's what I've been wanting to say for the last 5 minutes.
Philip,
awesome insights.
Philip, to your point, though,
but here's the thing, though, Dave.
One example that we know of is that Matt and I, when we saw the Black Crowes show with Dirty Honey opening, we commented because they were part of the tour, and much like Mammoth WVH, they just finished up a run in Europe along with Hailstorm. Both bands were on the entire run. So to your point, they knew how to kind of dial in that sound. Red was
So
wasn't part of the
Philip, are
show.
you saying
But we saw the Black Crows.
Oh,
well, hold on,
David
Matt. When we saw the Black Crows, Dirty Honey sounded terrible, and the Black.
Well, this is what
Did I
I'm trying
cut
to
out?
say. So we cut off for a second, but that's what I wanted to ask Philip. Like, there's not like intentional.
Yeah,
like,
Dirty Honey sounded
Right.
terrible.
I
and
don't think so.
The Black Crows sounded amazing.
Okay. All right.
In none of my experiences, and I've done everything from like working in a club for 3 years as the audio engineer.
Oh, you did do that. Okay.
Yeah. To being a hand to help with bigger acts as they come through. There is no like agenda to make the opening band sound worse, because if there were, I saw a 3-band bill at the House of Blues in Anaheim, California, while we were in California doing those shows. Jet was the headliner, if y'all remember Jet.
Jet. Yeah. Are you gonna be my girl?
Yeah, and Sloan was the opener.
Yeah.
Are they Nazi? Oh, they are a Nazi band. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
cool.
if you know Sloan was the opener. It's a Canadian band, and Sloan kicked their ass all over the stage as the opening band.
Sloan's a business school at MIT, but yeah, I get it.
So wait, Jet's from Australia? I gotta Google that.
Yeah.
Is that?
What does that have to do with anything?
I love that band.
But anyway, neither here nor there. There's not a concerted effort. There's a time. And for example, to your credit, you talked about them being on the road with Hailstorm and then coming over here. Well,
yes,
Hailstorm probably provided the sound over there.
That's right.
And then they got over here and they had to deal with Black Crow's sound front of the house sound.
Michael asked, not even if the band are a-holes?
We try not to, Michael. We really try not to.
If the band are a-holes and you make them sound bad, they're going to be even bigger a-holes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally.
So I'll come at it from a different
let me ask
dynamic.
you a question.
Sorry, Dave. I was just say real quick. From the other
Go ahead,
angle,
John.
I never think the sound people are trying to sabotage the sound, because it's on them. Like
right.
It is on them. I agree with you.
A crap sound is not going to be good for the club. Right?
That can't be good for their job security.
No,
it's good for nobody.
But
do you think there are headlining acts out there that deliberately tell their sound people, hey, you know what? Maybe with the opener, don't make them sound that great. Do you think they're because I do.
Those people need to get their teeth punched
Yeah,
out.
You know who I believe would do that? Kiss.
I guarantee there are bands out there that say that. I know that there are bands.
You know that fucking Gene Simmons is back. Sorry, he's the F word.
Like
you know Gene Simmons is back there saying that.
No sound guy says that though.
Gene Simmons needs his teeth kicked out. Then
you know that he's back there and he's like, "Don't make this band sound."
That's not good. That's not good.
So
but I'll do it from the other side, Philip, for a second. Like, you're saying the sound people don't sabotage it. I totally agree with that. I've never seen anybody try to suck. Right? You don't try to. But on the other side, I know from the stage, just doing the clubs I've done around Boston, you are trying to just not piss off the sound person, because I don't know if he just had a fight with his girlfriend out in the parking lot.
That's a great point.
I want to ask him a couple questions, but I don't want to question his dialing into the music. So I'll be like, hey, how's the bass sounding out there? Is it good? Can you hear it distinctly, or is it just a mush with the bass drum? Just asking as a friend. You try to not piss them off, because they have the power. They're turning the knobs.
You can't do this as often if you're doing the smaller shows where you're like one set and you're done, or maybe 2 sets and you're done. But I've done a lot of 3 and 4 and 5 hour gigs where after the first, and this is always sort of a goal to me, I finish the first set, ask the sound guy how it went, and my hope is the sound guy tells me you could probably turn up a little bit. That's always the goal, because I trust him to write it to start with, and then you tell me where your volume threshold is, because I can play or as loud or as soft as you want me to.
Yeah.
But going back to your question, Matt, about and Dave, questions about do the bands sabotage a little bit? There are definitely some bands that I could picture being out there doing that, but there's also, as an opener, you've got a little bit of a responsibility too. you have to go back, you have to find the interview, and I can't remember who it was with, so you're just going to have to do a lot of searching, and you're going to have to watch a lot of Derek Trucks interviews to find it, which is great because that's a great use of your time.
He's
it
so
really
great.
is. But he talked about, they did a show, and I think they did it at the Beacon in Atlanta, but don't quote me, where they had a guest vocalist come in, right, to do a song or two. And this is where my memory fails me, and I'm going to blame the whiskey. It's fine. Or my age, one or the other. And
Me too. Oh, by the way, Ryan, I'm going to put the bottle up here.
Yeah, I can't remember who the vocalist was. Oh, Broen, that's good. Broken, that's good. I'm drinking some Chattanooga whiskey, so straight bourbon out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. So they he brought in this vocalist. They did a rehearsal, and Derek said that vocalist just destroyed the song, just shredded it, just killed it. It was so good they didn't want to stop playing. Well, then they played it live, and he held back. And Derek asked him after the show, said, that was good, but you didn't do it like we did it in rehearsal. He said, well, I'm a big believer in singing in a way that the headliner asks you to come back.
Yeah, there you go. I like it.
He could have flexed on him, but
he didn't flex on him. He
could have flexed.
No, I think that's a great point. That's a great point. There has to be some kind of humble pie that you have to have,
especially as an opener.
Yeah, as an opener, it's just true.
It's ready.
Yeah, you don't do it. You don't do
years
it like
and years ago.
Matt
and I saw Collective Soul years ago, and we saw a band open for them called Silvertide, and they absolutely flexed on Collective Soul. And
Silvertide was amazing.
You know them, so you know Nick
Silvertide.
Perry,
I'm glad you know Silvertide. Yeah,
nobody knows who that. When they first came out with that first album, I still play that first album all the time.
It's incredible.
Were phenomenal.
It's such a great album.
So Nick's still out there doing his thing. Do you follow him at all, Ryan?
I don't. I have kind of looked over the years. I really need to.
We're trying to get Nick on the show.
We're trying.
Cool.
He still does some really cool music. It's not Silver. He does his own singing. He's like a singer-songwriter, but he's still he's got great guitar sounds. He's got all the awesome gear, and he's using it. He's a cool dude. So yeah, if you haven't heard that Silvertide album, listeners, just go check it out.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
This is kind of not off subject, but sideways. I play drums in a band, and we are about to play a fairly big club opening for a fairly big band, and it's going to be our first show live with the lineup that we have. So cool. It's going to be interesting to see how our sound is, because it's stoner rock. It's pretty heavy, down-tuned stuff. But it'll be interesting to see, and that's one of those clubs where their sound guy is the club's sound guy.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. The band is called Stony Doom. It's like a Scooby-Doo sort of caricature. But
Stony Doom.
Yeah. It's a brainchild of one of my best friends. We recorded a whole EP together with a whole bunch of different Topeka and Kansas City area musicians, and we were asked recently to play some shows. We're actually going to be driving to a few shows, which we're really excited about. But
I just liked y'all's page on Facebook.
That's awesome.
That's beautiful.
Nice.
Oh, look at that! That's awesome, dude.
Hey,
so Ryan, you're a drummer. So you're a drummer.
I have been a guitar player since I was 4 years old, but I grew up around music, and I have also played drums most of that time. And,
awesome, dude.
Yeah, and I play drums in this band. I actually am not in a gigging band where I play guitar at the moment. So.
Oh, okay, all right. That's kind of how it goes sometimes, though.
Yeah. In fact,
so who are you guys opening for?
I got a new China cymbal today.
Oh, very cool.
We are opening for Bongzilla.
What the hell? That sounds great. It sounds like a great time.
Bongzilla, they're another big, heavy stoner rock band. They've got like 60,000 likes on Facebook. I mean,
wait, really? Bongzilla is a stoner rock band? I'd have never figured that out.
I never would have guessed it.
That's right.
I never would have guessed that.
Yeah.
I would have definitely said like Christian rock jazz band. Yeah.
Bongzilla. Well, I'll tell you what though with this about sound guys, because I play in a band that we play venues that don't have even their own PA, so we got to bring the whole. So we got to bring the. I know.
When I was gigging as a teenager, I owned the PA, and that's part of the reason my back is messed up now.
So our band has a PA, but we'll bring the PA. And I'll tell you what, that's what we like prefer that because we can hire our own sound guy. Of course, that means we don't make any money because it's like, you know,
wait, you actually hire a sound guy?
Yes, we do.
I can't tell you how many times I've just done it from the stage.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. We don't try. Well, look, I don't run this band.
Okay.
I think we could probably run.
Yeah, we could dive into this, but we're not.
But we hire a sound guy, so whatever money we make goes to the sound guy.
Okay, hold on, guys. Yeah. So I looked up Bongzilla.
Yeah,
and I got to read the names of the band members. There's Mule Boy, Spanky, Nate Bush. There's Weed Dragon. There's Cooter Brown, Dixie Collins, and Magma.
If you think that's great, you should go look up the Stony Doom band members' names because we are all anonymous and all of the names have to do with weed.
Is this awesome? So Ryan, you seem amazingly
I gotta check these guys out.
Being in a stoner band.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I said you seem amazingly unstoned for being in a stoner band.
At the moment.
Matt, some of us know how to manage our addictions.
There you go.
That's right.
Yeah, I guess so. But sometimes, sometimes it's.
That's why this is nicotine,
So we got to get into this. What to the whiskey drinkers out there? What are we drinking tonight? Ryan, what are you drinking? Are you drinking whiskey?
You
get Jameson, right?
I had Jameson, but I finished it. I had a little fifth that my girlfriend got me for Valentine's Day, and I just finished it tonight. So.
Oh, nice.
All right.
I don't keep liquor around as much in my house anymore because if I have it, I'm going to drink it.
You're going to drink it. That's right.
I actually had to get Kelly, my wife, to bring me the refill because my glass was empty and she just got home. But I've got Chattanooga whiskey, which is Chattanooga, Tennessee has a really rich both liquor and music history. And so we were in Chattanooga recently and I did the distillery tour and I bought a few bottles there. They make, unlike champagne, which only can be made in the Champagne region of France.
That's right.
Bourbon does not have to be. Bourbon does not have to be made in Bourbon County, Kentucky. I hate to tell those Bourbon County.
Wait a minute. I don't know. Kentucky.
No, that's true.
Agree with you.
There are some rules.
It's true.
There are some rules that they have to follow. Like I'm not going to go into them all. They have to be a certain proof. They have to be aged a certain number of years. They have to be aged
51% corn at least. Yeah.
Yes, they have to be aged.
New charred oak.
Yeah, new charred white oak barrel, the whole 9 yards. They follow all those rules. So it is legitimate bourbon, but it is made in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So Chattanooga, Tennessee, actually, we did the math. So at one point pre-prohibition, there were 2 distilleries for every 1,000 people that lived in Chattanooga.
Wow.
That is
beautiful.
That is the appropriate ratio of distilleries.
Dude,
Yes.
that's amazing.
I thought that
I just
region
picked
was.
this up today. What? You know these guys, Philip?
Is that Davidson County, Tennessee?
I guess so. Yeah, I never seen it. So
Davidson County is Nashville. So it's probably some yuppies that moved there from I don't know where, but I'm sure it's great. Don't quote me. I have not tried it.
Is that what Nashville is now? It's a bunch of yuppies.
Look, I still adore Nashville. It's still one of my 3 favorite cities in the U.S., but it has become a little yuppie-ish.
What's your second favorite?
Oh no! My first favorite's New Orleans. Screw Nashville. New Orleans is the best city in the U.S.
New Orleans is fun.
Yeah, New Orleans is great. Nashville, and Chicago are right there at 2 and 3.
Chicago.
I was going to say Chicago must be number.
I love Chicago.
Yeah,
well, my brother lives in Chicago, and I love visiting.
Although I've not been to Boston yet, so I'm going to Boston next year. So we're gonna see.
Boston's not.
Oh, we're gonna hang out, Philip. You're gonna come over and hang out.
I'm born and raised in this area. Always been close to Boston.
No. Look, guys. I'm already planning.
I hope you don't have to drive there.
No, I don't. I'm gonna fly. But next year, guys, we're gonna do a live podcast from a brewery or distillery. I've already decided it's gonna happen.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Let's do it, Philip. Let's do it. Well, we got We gotta do our Nashville hang too. That has.
Oh
to
yeah,
happen.
The Nashville hang has to happen.
That
I'm
has
still
to happen.
working on some planning there. I've got some other things
right.
that I want to work on. Michael, Boston sucks. I actually like the Red Sox. Also, I'm going
Michael.
Michael, screw you. Dude, what the hell, man?
Okay, I was gonna be real harsh, but that's harsher than I was gonna be. I was gonna say I'm gonna be there in September, so at least there's a chance I'll catch some baseball, unlike October.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, you're gonna say that, huh? Okay.
You got us
You're
there.
right.
You got us there.
You would be right.
Where's Michael from anyway? The guy with the comments.
Oh, Michael's from Boston. He's from Boston.
Yeah, Michael's in this area.
I was gonna say he's from here.
Michael, are you the
Oh,
one that's in like? Aren't you in Andover or something, Michael? I forget where you are.
Yeah,
but
where
I
are
do-
you, Michael?
So he
I won't
knows-
out you I won't out you publicly. You're from the area.
Yeah, give
He
us your
knows
address.
Boston.
Then he knows you.
Here's your number and address.
You can drive to Boston. You just can't park anywhere.
Oh,
Oh, man,
well,
I
welcome to
drive to Boston.
Nashville.
That's it.
I used to drive to Boston every day. I live about 40 miles out of Boston. Pre-pandemic, I would drive in every day. It was kind of a nightmare. And now, I work in the guitar cave, and it's amazing. So.
Oh well, that's nice. That's got to be. Oh well, then.
yeah, it
you're in
is,
Haverhill. Okay, so Michael,
Haverhill.
you're
Michael, all right.
you're not that far away from me because
Haverhill.
I'm in North Andover. So yeah.
Well, Matt, that explains why you actually respond to the Facebook messages I send
That's
in the middle of the day. Unlike Dave, who's the model employee over here.
That's right.
I am the model employee. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Philip sends us a
You
message.
guys
Like,
go on
where the
these
hell's
like
Dave?
these diatribes that are like, and then I got to catch up.
Look,
It takes
gear-
forever.
Look, guitar gear is important, Dave. I don't know if you know this, but
We have to talk about these things. It's amazing. Well, hey, let's get into that a little bit. About like Nashville and the music scenes in these different cities.
yeah.
Because
I realize we're going long. Listen,
we are
listeners,
long.
listeners, if you have listened this
going
long, we love you. We love you. Like
we love you.
Yes.
Exactly right. If you're listening this long, we really appreciate it. Thank you all.
Thank you.
But it's episode
You should be able to edit it down. You should be able to edit it down to the 3 minutes of actual useful content.
That's right.
and that 3 minutes will just be me explaining why.
Glenn, you know what? I agree with you.
Yeah. I'm gonna call out Philip on the Tone Master. No. Let's talk about this for a little bit, and then we can wrap because I like this. So, like the scene, like the Boston music scene, and John knows this because he lived it, right? Not to say that you're old, John, but you're a little bit older than us. But John lived like in the golden age of the Boston music scene when Aerosmith was coming up. Boston was John was, well, it wasn't you, John. It was guys that you play with, but you rehearsed in the same rehearsal complex that Boston rehearsed in, and so like there was this golden in the Cars, like all these amazing bands coming from Jay Giles, like the list kind of goes on, and it's like. And even when I was kind of doing my original music stuff in the late 90s, early 2000s, there was still a vibrant scene happening. And now it's like just gone, right? In Boston. It's just like, it's just off this. There's really very few, all the venues where local live music was happening is gone. But you go to other cities and it's still there. Chicago, very much there because they have this great blues tradition. The blues clubs are going well. Although I think one blues club actually closed over the pandemic, which is really sad, but it's still going, right? And these other bands like New Orleans has a vibrant scene, but it's like this is becoming I don't know. I think you got to be at the right place now is what it is.
Yeah.
And for us to see this in Boston has been really sad that all of our favorite kind of local music venues are closing down.
Yeah, and Topeka has basically nothing now. We have like one small club that regularly has live music in Topeka, which for a capital city is pretty sad. But you have to go to Lawrence or Kansas City to find music anymore. It's
and that's what it is.
Kansas City.
Kansas City is pretty good. There's a good blues scene in Kansas City.
Oh, that's cool. All right.
Well, there's still a decent number of places to go there, and Lawrence as well. It's Lawrence is a college town, and they've got plenty of venues as well.
Oh, that's cool, man. Okay, that's
cool. So Boston's a huge college town, huge. And what's kind of died, it seems, is the original music scene, right? You can still get out to places and hear cover bands or a couple people with guitars and doing stuff, but the rockin', original music scene with all the different clubs. There's just not that many. There's very few clubs you can get out there and work your stuff out now.
Yeah. Now, so when we've talked about this a lot on the podcast, it really has the original music scene for the most part is kind of shifted to like, you can't do anything. And because we've talked to some of these bands, like you can't do anything unless you have an online following that's good. Right. Like it's really difficult to even get booked on anything.
Yeah.
Unless it's like, well, how many follows do you have? How many people, how many views do you have on YouTube? It's and we like I play in like a local cover band and we get those same questions, right?
Well, it's one of those things. It's like, how are you going to get a following if you're not out playing live where
it's
people
like a
can
chicken
see
and the
you?
egg? It definitely is.
It's very annoying.
Yeah, the Spinal Tap. Boston's on a big college town. Yeah, it is. It's a massive college town, and I feel like that. Yes, the Faneuil Hall, which is like a touristy area, they still have their cover bands going, and that's that's what it is, but. It's not what it used to be with the local scene, but it's still vibrant a lot of places, right? And even we had Corey Congilio on. If you guys know Corey, he's incredible.
I also
guitarist.
I'm super jealous. Y'all got Corey before I did. I'm super upset.
Sorry. No, you should get him on.
Y'all aren't even
Philip, you've gotten a lot of people before we did.
I know we're not even an interview podcast. No, you got to get Corey on. He's awesome.
Yeah,
Philip. But I
tell you what, y'all tell Corey he needs to come on my podcast, and I will try to get Joey Landreth to come to y'all.
Get Joey Landreth
because he is a guitar dad.
He is. Get Joey on.
Joey and I we're supposed to be doing another episode here soon. Joey and I text every so often, and it's like, oh, we try to schedule something, then he goes on the road again.
You know who else? You know who else we want you to hook us up with is Kingfish.
Well, man, I need y'all to get Kingfish to answer my text. Dude is so busy.
He's killing it.
I'm going to see him in April. I'm hoping to jam
right
with him a little in April at Juke Joint Festival in Clarksdale. So we'll see.
He's awesome. He's so good.
Kingfish is my dude, man. He is. I've gotten to watch him grow up and become the freaking monster that he is. He is like he's come a long way since he was playing bass for me when he was 12. So
that's amazing. It's so awesome. Yeah. Like so for those of you that don't know, go listen to Philip's podcast.
If you wait, hold on. If you're listening to this podcast and you don't know who Christone Kingfish Ingram is, you need to stop.
You got a problem.
You're doing.
Well, you had him on though. You had him on, so you can listen to an interview on your podcast.
Yeah. And it was so good. I reposted it because he was like early on because he's a buddy of mine, right? And so it's like he was one of the I had him on super early, like episode teens.
Yeah,
maybe.
It was early. Yeah.
And so I reposted it because I'd gotten a lot of listeners since then. But no, he's the dude. He's real deal. And the thing I love about Christone, like right now, or Kingfish, as everybody knows him. Actually, I know him as Kingfish. He had to go back to using like the full name, but it's a long story.
Oh, did he?
Okay. Well, I don't know if had to. That's don't take my word on that. But
okay,
he did. So, but with Kingfish, he look like the albums he's doing are very heavy, like real steeped in blues, right? Huh. Do not be surprised if at some point in this guy's future that he puts out like a progressive rock album.
I believe. You know what?
Because he is
I believe it.
Heavily influenced by prog rock. He's really influenced by classic rock. He and I have had those discussions off air, not on, and I hope I'm not like outing him a little bit here as a rock guy, but he is a rock guy. And like everybody's like, oh, it's the next BB King, it's the next such and such. No. If you know Kingfish, like if you know this guy, he's not the next BB King. He's the next Alvin Youngblood Hart. And if you don't know Alvin Youngblood Hart, you need to listen to Alvin, because Alvin Youngblood Hart, like, find the stuff on YouTube. He's like hardcore traditional blues. Like he does everything from like hill country to Delta to like gut bucket, like really kick you in the leg kind of blues. But he also has a progressive rock trio.
That's awesome.
Where he's like loud as shit and like
that's
really
awesome.
going for it. But yeah, that's Kingfish.
Kingfish is, I think, his latest album, Philip. There's like a track at the end. That's not a blues song. You know what I'm talking about? It's not a blues song. And I was like, what? And I'm listening to it, and I'm just letting the album run, and I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell is this song? This guy's like a rock player.
We also should we should say Grammy Award winning Kingfish.
Kingfish. That's right. He did win a Grammy.
He did win a Grammy.
Yeah, no, he
that's
just
right.
well
Yep.
deserved. He's incredible. But I'll go back to what I was saying about Corey.
Sorry, I interrupted.
So no, I love it though. Kingfish we love him. He's amazing. So Corey, who's a Nashville guy, and we also had on Taylor. What's Taylor's last name, Dave? I'm having
Taylor
a brain
Hughes.
aneurysm. Taylor Hughes. Taylor Hughes, who's an up and coming Nashville artist.
Star.
You know,
Yep.
Nashville doesn't support. There's not like a big original music performance scene in Nashville, believe it or not. It just doesn't.
Which
it
is
doesn't
really unbelievable when you think about it.
Yeah.
because you would
It's like the
think
home
that
base.
Nashville is the music city that it really is.
Yeah. It's the home
it's all-
base
it's
for
all-
touring. Yeah.
It does, but you're not going to make money doing it. So I lived outside of Nashville for 2 years. I lived in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, which basically should be renamed to Nashville Junior. At this point, but
Wait, you're going to play music and not make money? Wow,
that's exactly what. That's
Whoever
exactly
heard
what
that?
Nashville is. That's exactly what Nashville is.
Kidding.
So I saw Michael Britt. Like Michael Britt's I'm not gonna pretend like Michael Britt's a friend of mine, right? But I worked sound and stage for a Lone Star concert once, and like met Michael Britt,
That's
and like
cool.
we're Facebook friends. We've chatted a couple of times. I'm gonna get him on the podcast at some point. But he posted on Facebook recently that they were playing, like Lone Star is playing Nashville. And he emphasized how rare it is that Lone Star plays Nashville, the town he lives in.
That's right. Like if you're not playing at the Ryman or Grand Ole Opry or one of those venues there, like it's
Yep.
There are other venues, like you said. There are other venues that some
Yep.
players come to, but it isn't like a
Mercy
popular
Lounge and the Underdog.
The Underdog.
I don't know if Mercy Lounge is still around, but that used to be the place to go see a lot of independent rock bands.
I think
Phil,
the Underdog
have you
might
seen
be
a
where
show
Corey
at the
played.
Ryman?
Yeah.
What's that?
Have you seen a show at the Ryman? Because
I saw the only show at the Ryman you need to see. I have seen Jason Isbell at the Ryman.
Oh, cool.
And that is
That's
all
cool.
you need to know.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. A lot of great shows, and you should go to the Ryman because it is important, regardless of your opinion on the Ryman and their $14 beers. But I wish I
That's
were.
every place. That's every music venue.
that's
That's
true.
every
That's
venue.
Oh, dude,
these
this
days.
venue we went to when we saw Alta Bridge, the drinks were like astronomical.
Oh,
it
God.
was insane.
But
Yeah.
if you're gonna go to the Ryman, you may as well go see the High Priest of Country Music at the Ryman.
Yeah,
And
no, I give you that, Jason Isbell. I get
That's
it.
what Isbell is. And
I get it, dude.
I'm sure the sound there, everybody says is so. What did you think of the sound there?
there's no better place. There is no better venue.
Yeah, everybody just
There's
raves
not
about the sound. I gotta go see this.
well, here's the deal. It's a small venue. Like it is
small,
small.
yeah.
You're not gonna. I have no idea what the seating capacity is at the Ryman, but I used to work sound and lighting at a 2,100 seat theater. The Ryman is not 2,100 seats. It may be 1,200.
It's gotta be like maybe.
I don't know. See, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I just Googled it. It says 2,300, but I don't know.
No
if that's
way.
true.
No way.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's
So here's
true.
the deal. The seating at the Ryman
Wow.
is all church pews.
Okay, it does
So-
say on the Ryman website 2,300. Is that true? I don't know.
Yes.
So Matt,
yeah.
Matt, the place we were at to see Alter Bridge and Wolfie's band was the Roadrunner, which is a pretty. I like that club. It's the
Yeah,
first
that's a
time I went to
3,000.
That's 3,000, but it had
Yeah.
a big balcony going around the top.
Yeah, it
it
was
didn't
cool.
seem. It was kind of intimate. It was a nice club, and
I
that's
love
good.
that place. Yeah,
for
I
a new
love
club. What we said was they need local bands to open up for these bands. Coming
Yes.
through. That's what they need. They need to do that. And I just wanted to shout out to Michael in his comment about when the rat
closed.
I
Yeah,
died
yeah.
a little. I hear you,
Oh,
Michael.
that's right.
The rat was
that-
was before my time.
That
but
place
yeah.
in Kenmore Square in Boston by BU
Yeah.
was a classic.
I know. I
dive
remember. Yeah, I
bar.
know. People talk about the rat. Yeah.
And
When
what's
I-
interesting is the band Rat played there a lot, and it was very confusing.
When I went there for the
Rat at
first
the
time,
Rat.
I was a very freshly scrubbed college student going to Boston, and I went in the Rat, and the waitresses were wearing like they had safety pins in their cheek and stuff, and I'm like, this
awesome.
is out of control. Like that was one place you went and you did not know what was going to happen. It was very
That's
edgy.
awesome.
Like that's what we're missing is those clubs that are edgy. Like get your friend and get your back up against the wall and watch the band and mind your P's and Q's because you don't know what's going to happen in there. That place,
that's amazing.
But
right.
it made you stand on point, and the bands that were in there had to bring it. They had to bring it, or they'd get shouted down. Yeah, those. I agree, Michael. That club was kicking.
That's so great, man. But that's what it is, right? Like those days are over, and even Nashville doesn't necessarily
never
support
coming back.
that. And that Nashville, like you said, it's turned into like this kind of a Vegas thing almost, where you got the bands on Broadway, and I'm not taking anything away from these people that play on Broadway because they're
make your living. Make your living.
Yeah, I mean they're making money, and you got to hand it to them what they're doing. But they're playing covers. They're taking requests and they're playing covers.
So
when you guys come to Nashville, we're going to the Underdog. We're not going to go.
We're going to go to the Underdog.
We'll do one night on Broadway.
Playing
One night on Broadway because you need to see it.
I want to see. Yeah. So to somebody's earlier point, I think it was you, Philip.
You do need to see it.
I kind of the opening when you're an opening band though, and I've been at a billion times for good bands and not so good bands, but I'm not going to half-ass it. Like you were saying, don't show up, don't flex. I just don't. Maybe that's something I never learned, but I feel like if the band doesn't go out and kick some butt, they're not going to ask us back. They don't want to limp noodle.
No, play your show, but you remember like it's sort of like there's the role of the opener.
Yeah, I'm gonna be very nice and deferential to the headliner, but I'm gonna when I do my set. And our band does it. We got to bring it because it's the thin razor edge to getting asked back. I'm not gonna go. I'm not half-assing it out there. I'm bringing all my. If I'm a vocalist, I'm bringing it. So, and that's the point anyway.
Yeah, man. No. I look. I agree with you there, but at the same time, you got to have some respect.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
you got to have some respect. So.
When you're playing, playing, and when you're talking backstage, that's different. You can say, "Hey,
yeah."
And Rhett Scholl talks about this a lot on his channel and like some of his behind the scenes stuff. And I've had some conversation with Rhett, and it's very
love him.
It's very true. It's way more about just being a cool dude or woman than it is about being like the most amazing name whatever. You just need to be someone people enjoy hanging out with, and that's the thing with openers. Now you're gonna also get, and I'm not gonna name names, although if we keep going off recording, then I may talk about. But
we're gonna keep going all night.
This is live.
Yeah, at some point you got to cut the recording. But
I don't know how to do that.
Minutes.
There, with some exceptions, there's some folks who are not cool dudes to hang out with, but you want to be the cool dude to hang out with, or the cool dudette to hang out with. You don't want. You can't be an ass. Especially as the opener.
Totally.
No, I agree. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying when you go play your set.
Do your set.
And then if you walk off and if they feel offended by it, F you, dude. I mean, I'm trying to live. You guys are headlining. You guys have got a bus out there. I got to go back to my crap apartment and be a security guard.
I got to go back to my Honda Accord and drive back 3 hours to get home.
I'm not going to be on stage. You got to be all in. And then I agree. Backstage, you're not going to act like an a-hole. Totally agree.
That's it. Just
don't act like an a-hole.
Be cool to hang out with. That's the biggest thing.
I'm gonna get that tattoo. Don't act like an a-hole.
I've played with some folks and I've run sound with some folks who don't adhere to that. And
you remember them.
Oh,
you remember those moments.
I'm fighting naming names. Yeah. I know exactly those people.
I've been in positions as an opener where the headliner was like, "Oh, well, nobody's allowed in the dressing room but the headliner," and it's like, "Well, we're playing too," it's and that stuff bothers me
big time.
Yeah.
It's like why are you special?
Yeah, exactly. Those bands they're jerks.
Ryan, you get a dressing room. I'm used to just going out in the parking lot and opening the side door.
I remember when I used to play the original circuit, and there was bands that I would open for, and there wasn't much of a backstage, but I would be like respectful and not like just be hanging out back there if they were the headliner.
Right.
And like I can tell you, like I really appreciate it when they would come. They would be like, "Hey, dude, come back here, bring your girlfriend, whatever, And it was like,
wait a minute. Bring your girlfriend is not what you want to do.
Oh, wait a minute. Well, wait, hold on. That's a whole different.
Yeah, wait a minute.
That's
What were they? Wait a minute. Now that I think back, what were they trying to do?
Yeah.
Well,
Like, hey, bring your girlfriend and your mom and your aunt.
None of them stole my girlfriend, so it worked out.
Me and Glenn were just saying, when you said bring your girlfriend, me and Glenn were going, dude, what? No, you don't do that. You don't do
that. They weren't. Well, let's put it this way: it all worked out fine in the end.
Yeah,
so
good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not.
It all worked out.
That's great. That's awesome.
Guys,
That's so good.
This has been. We're going to start to wrap this thing up, and then we can hang it as long as you guys want, but we're going to wrap the show up. We just want to thank each and every one of you guys for joining us for sure. This was great tonight. We had a lot of fun. I'm sure there'll be more fun to be had once we kind of wrap and stop recording. But and any one of you listening to this, thank you guys. Thank every single one of you listeners for taking us through 100 episodes. Our sincere apologies for having to put up with me and Matt, because we've gone through our stuff together, and you guys have been there every step of the way. So
thanks
you for driving this thing. And we hope we see you guys at episode 200.
Wait.
We
So
hope this thing keeps continuing.
Dave, hold on, Dave. In the future, how can we support y'all? Like, how can we help y'all in the future?
Yeah.
So I'm going to make some announcements here. There's going to be some announcements. Yep, I'm going to make those now.
I was
we are going to
be before you said that.
Yep. So we are going to be getting our Patreon going. So look out for that. We're going to have an announcement. We're going to let you guys know about that at the next episode. I'm sorry, episode 102. 101 is coming up next week. You're going to check out our interview with Rick and Andrew from Honey Picks. That will drop next Sunday.
Yeah.
So check that out.
It's not available now? Are you saying like
it is not available now? So we're going to tease it.
Wait. Are you sure? Because I'm pretty sure. Hold on. I'm waiting. Y'all should get an email. Like, I literally just signed up for your Patreon. It exists. Yeah, look at that.
Look at that. It exists.
I'm your first.
It does exist.
I'm claiming number one. I'm claiming.
Are you claiming number one?
I'm done.
Right, great.
It's done.
Awesome.
It's on.
That's amazing. Thank you, Philip.
Philip, we love you, man.
So yeah, we love you, man. Yeah.
There is a Patreon. If you search us on Guitar Dads, you can sign up for Patreon right now.
Or if you just go to patreon.com/Guitar Dads Podcast.
Jazz Podcast.
You
can definitely support the show.
Thank you, Philip. At least someone's a professional on the show. So listen,
we're gonna be getting that going. We're gonna be giving you guys extra content, and you're gonna have something to look forward to with that. And if you do want to support the show and you don't want to watch our extra content, we understand that, because we don't like to listen to ourselves any more than we have to as well. And there's also going to be some giveaways coming up over the next few weeks. There'll be a pedal giveaway, and also if you're watching this, or if you happen to see some of these clips that we'll post, there'll be some smaller giveaways, some sticker giveaways.
Dave, put those stickers closer to the thing. It's closer to the camera.
Can we see them?
Yeah, it's basically my T-shirt. It's basically my T-shirt. You got a sticker that looks like my T-shirt.
Nice.
So there you go. Yeah. So we'll mail those out to you guys as well. Yeah. So I think we're gonna do a thing where, like, you're in the group. If you invite a friend to the group, we'll mail you a sticker. How's that?
Yeah. So we're gonna do a content. We're gonna do a whole giveaway. Yeah. That'll be to come to. So wait for that. And like I said, guys, we really appreciate you guys listening to each and every one of these episodes and supporting us and commenting and leaving us reviews, and make sure you do that when you listen to the pod. Please leave a review and comment, all that stuff, because it really definitely helps out the show. And what more can you say? This 100th episode was epic. This was awesome. So thank you to you guys who joined us. Philip from the 40 Watt Podcast. Go check out his podcast. One of the best podcasts out there as far as we're concerned.
You're too kind. You're too kind.
Oh, no. Philip, you do a great job. It's a great podcast.
And check out Philip has been hanging out with the Guitar Nerds. He's bringing a lot of class to that operation.
So it's going to be on there again next week.
He's cleaning up Guitar Nerds.
So check it. Yeah. Not that Guitar Nerds need us to plug them, but you go check them out.
No.
But yeah, thank you, Philip. Thank you to to our listeners here and our friends that have joined us here, Glenn and Ryan and John. Thank you so much for joining on camera and hanging out with us. It's awesome to see you guys.
And all you guys in the chat, thank Michael and the like, and Joan and
Michael,
everybody
Jonathan,
else.
Joan. Thank you guys.
Yep. We
is that it? Is that it? We wrapping?
That's going to be
the official wrap.
We're going to wrap.
Official wrap.
That's the wrap. I'm going to wrap.
That is the official wrap. That's it. I think that was this week's Guitar Dads podcast.
Yeah,
all right, everybody.
Guys. Okay, now
keep rock. Hold on though, Philip.
Oh,
keep.
Because I was about to get real.
We got to keep rock alive. That's it. That's the Guitar Dads podcast. Keep rock alive. We'll catch you on the flip. Cut. All right, so we're still broadcasting.
There you go.
Broadcasting live.
All right.
If we stop
I
broadcasting,
probably shouldn't have had as
live,
much bourbon as I.
Can you guys stay on?
I'm here for the long haul, guys.
Wait, one thing.
I'm here for the long haul.
Glenn, you're making me hungry, man.
What are you eating over there? What is that shit?
Just a ham sandwich, dude. It's lunchtime.
Oh, I was gonna immediately assume it was like a
it's 10 o'clock at night.
What's the Australian Vegemite?
Vegemite? No,
yeah, Vegemite.
Crap.
Nobody eats that.
Disgusting. Okay, so if I hit end broadcast, are you guys going to still be here?
I think so. No. I think if you hit end broadcast, it's going to stop all the
live.
No,
don't
so
hit it.
Keep the live.
Stop the live, but
just
you want to keep the live? Okay,
keep the live. No, keep the live.
All right, keep the live.
Right. The live is fine. Here's the reason I say that because
people
can watch my podcast, like yours, predominantly exists in the audio space.
That's right. That's where mine exists. Mainly.
Nobody's gonna watch to the end of this.
This is a good point. If you can make it to the end of this, if you made it this far, good for you.
You can make it past the first 10 minutes.
Right.
Glenn,
this is like Matt. You know what this is like? I'll tell you what. This is like Ferris Bueller right now. If you were watching this on Facebook, this is like the end of Ferris Bueller, where Matthew Broderick walks up to the camera and says, "Still here? What are you doing here?
Right.
Go home."
Or like if you're on YouTube watching this, assuming y'all keep this still up on YouTube, like with my videos, like I do I do hour-plus long interviews on YouTube. Nobody watches that shit. Like
I know. Look,
my did it for average watchership is like 20%.
Yeah, I know, dude. We played that game and we found that out. We fucked around and found out on that one.
Well, that's I talk to people all the time. It's like for example, I hit a milestone on the podcast this week that this is y'all's podcast. I won't talk about that, but the point is,
it was cool.
No, you should talk about it. It's an amazing milestone.
Yeah, I hit for the first time ever 1,000 downloads in a 7-day period,
which is a massive
1,000 plus. That's a big deal. For me, that's a big deal. And it has stayed 1,000 plus since then. So it's like it's incentivizing me making sure that I get an episode up every week because I'm addicted. I'm addicted to that 4-figure number now, right?
That's right.
But you hear 1,000 downloads in a week, so say 4,000 in a month, right? Whereas some YouTube videos, you look at them and you're like, well, they had 175,000 views in the first month of
12 hours.
Yeah, in 12 hours. But the majority of those views were 15 to 45 seconds.
Yeah, no, that happens. That's true. That's true.
It happens on Facebook too. In my day job, we posted a bunch of stuff during the pandemic, right? And for those of you that don't know, John, Glenn, Ryan, you may know already. I'm a public librarian in my day job. I'm a public library director, right? So my children's librarian did a whole thing during the pandemic where she did story times on Facebook. And she posted videos, and it's great. These are 10 to 15-minute videos.
Yeah, cool.
Well, we got millions of views over the course of 2020.
That's crazy.
The average view time on them was less than a minute.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I was going to say, but it was 30 seconds, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a short story, dude.
Yeah, because Facebook, when you scroll and you're scrolling, or at least it used to be, they've updated the app since then, but you'd scroll and you'd see a video. If that video started playing at all, it counted as a view, even if they immediately scrolled past it.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, it's crazy.
YouTube is the same way.
YouTube is the same. Yeah, Ryan, tell us what guitar you're playing over there.
True, though, right? Ryan, what are you playing over there?
That's a Ryan's. That's a Verthing.
Yeah, I built this.
You built it. You're a guitar builder.
Tell us about
I think
it.
I think you posted
Yeah,
this
yeah,
on the site, Ryan, on the
Yeah, and
Facebook page.
it's so dark over here, you can't really see the Purple Heart very well. But yeah, it's one of my buddies. In fact, the person who was here visiting earlier when I had to leave is the girlfriend of the guy that I designed this for.
Nice.
It's called The Killer. I designed it for a buddy of mine. He was my first customer. And yeah,
man.
it's mahogany body, Purple Heart top. It's chambered on both ends and solid down the center. It's a Fender 25.5-inch scale length with the wraparound bridge, 2 P90s, neck volume, bridge volume, master tone, 3-way rotary switch. Yeah, it's one of the 2 designs that I've come up with.
See, y'all hear him? Wraparound bridge, P90s. He's speaking to my language.
I was gonna say, what are you hanging out with Philip?
I was just talking to Philip yesterday. I was like, I should send this to you just so you can play with it.
Yeah, he's threatened to send that to me, and we had this conversation, and you know, his aesthetic for that guitar wasn't exactly my normal aesthetic, but also he designed it for someone who isn't me. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true.
No, but Ryan and I were talking about this. Ryan is also a very good amp tech. So
you are, Ryan.
If you're in the middle of the country and you need amp work, you need to check out Ryan's work. He and I are talking. So I bought recently an RE201 Space Echo.
Yes, you did.
And I love that thing. And I bought the refurb kit from EchoFix in Australia. I bought that kit. And it came in, and I changed the pinch wheel. I changed the other rotary wheel that I don't remember the actual name they call that piece, but I changed the felt. I changed the felt arm. I changed the tape, and it sounds good now. It's really good, but it's also from 1979. And so some of the capacitors have started. I think they're starting to leak out of spec.
Yeah.
Now the refurb,
I'm sure those electrolytics are all dry.
Oh yeah, exactly. But the refurb kit I ordered, you pay a good bit for it, but EchoFix is like, here's a kit to fix 90% of the issues we found with RE201s. So they sent me a bunch of capacitors. They sent me a bunch of transistors. There's a bunch of mini pots on the circuit board for things. They sent me new ones.
Biasing up different things.
There's bias, there's the intensity, there's volume, there's a bunch of stuff. So they sent me all those parts, right? They're like, here are the parts. And the problem is, and Ryan and I talked about this yesterday, I know enough about electronics to kind of fix a few things, and I have over the years. I still kind of hate doing it. It's like I don't enjoy it like the way some people do. So I think I'm going to give it one more go. But Ryan and I've already talked, and we're like, if I get to a point where I'm like, no, feck this, I'm going to send it to Ryan and be like, here's all the parts. Here's the 201. Fix this for me.
So first, my comment is, first of all, Ryan, building a guitar that people play, I'm just so in awe of that. Like, no shit. Because when Matt and Dave start talking gear and pedals, and then Philip chimes in with, I've got a felt pad buffle bicker fuck thing. I'm totally lost, and I'm in IT, so I get technical shit. I do, and I can do IT, and I can do Linux, and I can do Oracle. But when you get into the gear, I'm just not there, and I know that's a weakness of mine. Like, everybody has strengths.
Well, you're a bassist,
and I mean,
wait a minute, Matt. That's bassist. That's bassist.
That's bassist. Yeah. Yeah, but what I'm saying, and I don't mean this in a bad way, when I'm hearing the conversations, I'm like, and I know just for my own self and my own attention span, when do you have time to practice if you're worrying about a felt buffle
right
from a guy?
I have a lot of time to practice.
No, and I don't mean this in a bad way. I'm not judging. I seriously mean, like, if I can get 20 minutes in and I'm playing, or maybe Glenn's taking photographs and he's really into it, that's a big deal. If I can do an hour, that's a big deal. A day, you know? So how do you juggle that? I don't understand it. That's why I'm so...
You got to be obsessed with it.
Yeah, you got to be obsessed.
And you have to be stupid like me and quit your day job so that you can do this shit full time.
Yeah. And
that's not stupid. If it works for you, I love it, man.
But Ryan,
Ryan, you quit. You're done with everything day job, and this is like full time now for you.
Yeah.
And, wow.
And it's a weird struggle because you know, and I have there's a whole story that got me to where I am now. But I mean, the gist of it is, you know, I'm still not making a lot of money. I'm really, really lucky to have a girlfriend that has a full-time job that helps me pay the bills around here. But I was really sick and tired of working for other people and having to deal with their crap. And I'm just absolutely obsessed with gear and always have been. And also I have a really bad back. I don't up until recently, the band that I'm drumming in, I haven't been gigging for a while. But I love the technical gear side of things even more than playing at this point in my life. And it's great. But it's a really weird thing for me because I'm in a part of the country where, you know, like I was saying earlier, Topeka has like basically one venue that ever has music, and breaking into this world when no one knows who you are is really hard. You know, lots of podcast guys and lots of musicians that are in this YouTube world and this podcast world all know each other. And for me to try to connect with those people is really difficult. So that's something I've been trying to do. But
so Ryan, as someone who has recently had to do this, even more recently than Dave and Matt, who actually started their podcast before mine, it's so true. This is the second time I've dropped Rhett Scholl's name. I'm going to drop it again. He uses a phrase that you have to be present to win, and you're doing that. That's the thing. Is like you've just got to be around, and it's going to take time. But here's the thing: you're doing a thing, and you're doing a thing that is absolutely needed. And we talked about this yesterday, actually, literally yesterday.
Yeah.
There are not a lot of people going into guitar amp repair and technician. There's not. And we need some. We especially need people like Ryan who aren't 120 years old going into guitar amp repair and maintenance. Because there's the tube. Look, contrary to what we talked about this on the main episode, which
I should probably show you guys this while we're talking about.
Yeah,
this
good.
Too.
Which is the tattoo. Yeah. While but we're not. You know,
that's awesome.
Guitar tube amps aren't going away.
Ryan, show that again.
No, they're not.
And
they're
I did a recent, like, I tried to look at a market share of guitar amps on musical instrument sales.
What's it say? Sorry, man.
Oh, you're good.
This is an RCA 6L6, and he's come to life, and he's eating a transistor.
That's amazing.
So, and over here we have a bunch of little 12AX7s that are eating a modern PC board.
Jesus.
That's awesome.
That's like gear. That's gear deep.
Yeah,
And
Jonathan on Facebook mentions this, that he's been trying to get into tube amp repair himself, and it's not easy. Don't quit. Keep doing it. So here's
because I can't. This is what I do.
I've got a ton of manuals. I've got a ton of books on tube and electronic repair and creation of circuits, and I'm really interested. But and Ryan and I had this conversation. I don't love it the way someone who gets into this needs to love it.
Gotta love it.
But there's a market for it, and I'm sure there's a market for. I'm gonna loop because I know Glenn's there. Like, if they talk about another foot? And I don't want to speak for you, Glenn, but I'm speaking for me.
Speak away.
Yeah, well, I think we connected on the Bon Jovi thing, but after that, when it got into foot pedals, I was like, if I hear about another guitar foot pedal, I'm gonna throw it through my window and be like, just play your fucking guitar, man.
No, and I'm gonna ask.
What are you hanging out with?
I play this.
Oh, wow.
What are you hanging out with, Walter Trout? What's wrong with you? Anyway.
Now I forgot my point.
Foot pedals.
There,
my pedal board right there.
I play with this.
Really? You don't play pedals either, Glenn? You don't?
Mine is all the way over there, so
yeah,
you can't really see it.
That's awesome.
I can't even play
you guys can
song
see
completely yet.
It's a little dark in here. But
I have two pedals.
It's a little dark, but you can kind of see all these. This is
hold on, John. Hold on in 1 second. I want to do. Hold on, with you guys that are still on here, I want to do like a rig rundown. John, let's start with you. What are you two pedals, and what are you playing for bass?
All right, I heard a laugh when you asked the question.
He doesn't have pedals. Do you have
I
pedals
do.
now, John?
I have a tuner.
He has a
two
tuner
pedals.
I have a tuner.
Yeah, the TU3
and a DI.
And I have a fuzz. The DI goes out the back of the head of my bass amp. And then if you're going gear, I got some. Wait, I don't know if we can.
I love how you have the trifecta.
Okay,
the
first
trifecta.
we got that guy.
Man, I sold my upright. I used to play upright, and I was like, I am not carrying this around anymore.
You can't really see.
Hey, Philip, do you know about Upton Bass in Connecticut?
I know of the company. That's all you get. That's all I got.
Yeah, that's an Upton bass that John has.
No, I didn't get an Upton. I didn't buy.
I thought that was an Upton.
No, that's not an Upton.
That's a Shen actually. But I use that a lot. You were talking about Nashville. I play a lot of bluegrass here in Boston. Believe it.
Oh yeah. See, if I played bluegrass, I would still have my upright, but I don't. So it was like I played it for about a year. I did a few gigs with it. And there was a point where, like, I was driving an F-150, and to carry that thing around, I still had to stick it out of a window. Wow. I was like, no.
I fit an upright bass into my '88 Ford Escort when I was in high school.
You can do it. I had a Honda Civic.
Wow. You guys are amazing.
You just have to know. I had to Google it, but I saw a guy put it in his passenger seat of a Honda Civic. You put the seat all the way back flat, and you put the headstock down on the mat. And the headstock doesn't touch. You put it like a pillow under it, and then you just seatbelt it in. I carried that effort around.
John,
around for years.
My butt clenched just with you saying that. I'm just saying.
I did the same thing with mine.
You do what you got to do. I'm not strapping it on the roof like the Beverly Hillbillies here. I got to put it in the car, because it snows up here. It snows. I'm not letting it get snowed.
Michael says you have to play more Tetris.
That's it. You got to play more Tetris.
That is it.
It's like a fucking game of Tetris when you're trying to get the thing.
I saw a guy do that. I thought he was maybe on the Bongzilla tour. He was telling me you can get that. He said you can get that upright in the passenger seat. I'm like, dude, there's no fucking way. I've been carrying this. I had a hatchback Ford Escort I could get it into. Now you're telling me I can get it in my Honda Civic? I'm like, you are bullshitting me.
He's on the Bongzilla tour.
He takes it and he puts it upside. I'm like, what the? What just? He did it.
I never thought about turning it upside down. Now I regret
That's
selling
amazing,
it
dude. That's amazing.
You do what you gotta do, right,
I can't believe. How you bassists run around with those upright basses is complete. So I work in the city, and I work at an institution that's right next to the New England Conservatory of Music in Boston.
No,
and there's people running around.
Aren't you fancy? No,
I work an institution next to it, and this. I see people running around all over the place with these upright basses. It's hilarious. Yeah. And it's like small Asian women like with these things like trying to cross the street with the upright bass in Huntington Ave in Boston, which is like a war zone. It's like
get it.
This is
crazy. What's even more fun?
Yeah.
I used to have to take it on the train.
Oh yeah.
And the door opened up and people were like not making room. I just punched that end pin out. Like keep the sharp point on it. I'm like, fuckers, I'm getting on. It's raining.
There you go. That'll get people. It's like a bayonet.
Get on the train. Yeah.
That's a concealed weapon that won't get you arrested.
So
that's
John,
like a bayonet.
That's right.
John, what is the fuzz that you have?
Oh my god! You know what? This is how bad
I have. No
I am.
idea.
I got like an MXR. Is that?
Oh no, that's good. That's fine.
Well, show it to us. Cool. Let's see it.
What
like a
108 fuzz or?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what MXR fuzzes there
are. They make that 108 fuzz face that I really like.
Yeah,
that's not what you have, is it, John?
What's that?
What do you have?
What's the fuzz? You got the pedal in front of you?
It's an MXR. It's
Wait, hold it up. We can't. Oh god, we can't see anything.
It's the green.
No, it's not. It's just a basic brown.
What's it say? What's it say there?
Bass fuzz deluxe.
Yeah. What's a bass fuzz?
That's what I was thinking it was.
It's a bass fuzz.
Bass fuzz. You know what? And that's it. And you know what? We were playing again. It's just a cover band, but I put it on for like the Blur song everybody plays, song 2. It was fuzzing out, And I didn't even realize I forgot to stomp off it, and I played like 3 other songs with it. I'm like, what the? Why didn't the sound person tell me I was still fuzzing? Because you know why? He didn't give a crap.
He didn't know. He didn't know you weren't making an artistic decision to have fuzz on freaking Nothing Compares to You. He didn't know.
Nothing compares to you. No, look, if you know John's band, they're definitely not playing Nothing Compares to You.
It's like Aerosmith and Led Zeppelin.
No,
Yeah,
not even
He
close.
really didn't know.
Yeah,
he had no idea what was going on.
But that's my 2 pedals, and I can barely control when to step on and step off. You know, wax on, wax off. It's just it's a lot.
It's really difficult.
Wax
I've got 5. I mean, it's not
Okay,
very
so-
many for a lot of guys.
So
Yeah,
I'm
that's
going to
pretty
move it
good,
on
5.
for me. Glenn, what's your rig? What are you playing? What are you
Yeah,
playing?
Glenn, what's
I've
going
only got,
on,
I've only
dude?
got 2. I've got 2 pedals. It's got an accelerator and a brake.
Let me walk over to my drum set.
Spoken like a
That's
truck
it.
driver.
You know, we talk about that with Kirk. We talk about that with Kirk Hammett. He's got his signature car, and it's got a gas pedal, a brake
And a
pedal,
wah
and a wah pedal.
No, I'm
In
a
the
complete
car.
noob. I'm a complete noob to guitar playing, so I've only been.
Oh,
Playing
you
about 6
are?
months.
Okay.
And I can't
okay.
even play. I can't even play a song completely yet. I
That's
can't play
what
one
we
song.
do.
Dude,
okay,
I've been
neither can
playing
I.
20. I've been playing 24 years and I can't play a song completely.
Dude, that's how guitar players roll.
I do own 5 guitars,
right.
but I can't play one of them.
What guitars do you have, Glenn? What do you got?
Oh, I've got just a Telly, a Strat. I've got a couple of acoustics and a Les Paul, of course. So,
Well, then
course
you've
you gotta
got
have
all
a
the
Les Paul.
food
Have all
groups
the all the
covered.
guitars.
no, I
you
haven't
need.
got a semi-hollow body yet. You know, but
Hey,
Oh,
hey,
you know, I don't own a
here you go.
semi-hollow body
Semi
either.
hollow right here.
That's awesome, man.
I'll
We
nail
all
it
know,
to
I
need
don't-
some
you.
semi-hollow
I
bodies
don't
in
own
our
a
lives.
semi-hollow either, and I kind of want one, but I think I don't know. Philip's convincing me to go Novo.
We all need
I
one
don't
in our
know.
lives.
I don't
Okay,
know.
well, you can do both. You can
Hey,
get
Philip,
a
yeah.
Mirror and
Can
go
you just
semi-hollow.
bring the Novo onto screen? Can you
Sure.
pull the Novo just? To
I
kinda
think I'm going to
that
get a.
kinda-
You
just
think I
to
should get a
flick his-
Mirrors, Philip?
I don't necessarily think. I'm just telling you can do both at once. I think if you're gonna get a Novo, this is hold on.
But wait, when you go
Philip,
back to
we got to
go
get
back
Philip
to-
on his Novo.
go
We got to
back
get
to-
Philip on his Novo thing. I love when he gets into the Novo.
go back to what Glenn was saying about his guitars. That is like the stock solid choices of guitars for me.
Oh, totally,
That's
dude.
the shit.
Yeah.
If you don't buy another
Yeah, you can
guitar,
everything, Glenn.
you can play. I'll play with you.
Hey,
anytime.
don't swear at me. Do not swear about
Like,
not buying
John,
more stuff.
John, you'll understand.
What the
I have
hell?
a P bass
Glenn, what
and
are
I
you-
have
Glenn,
a
what are you
jazz
running
bass.
What are you running that through?
Yeah,
What
that's
more?
it. You know, and
I'm
then I'll
just using
do.
a little Black Star amp.
Philip, I'm with you on that. And what we did back in the day, it was like maybe 79, 80. When I got my P bass, you had a guy put the jazz pickup down on the bridge. So
Yep.
I have a PJ.
Yeah,
I got a PJ because that was Jocko. That was Jocko's time, and you had to get that sound down on the bridge.
so my traditionalist side is like it's a
Yeah.
P bass and nothing else. But then there's
Yeah.
like my if you want one bass that does it all, you get a PJ and then you stop buying basses.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're done.
All right.
I believe you.
I
So,
had
Glenn-
a Sting. Look, I gigged with a Stingray 5-string for 3 years, and I would
you
not
did?
buy. I would not buy another one. And
I like a
the
Stingray.
the only reason I don't buy another one, they have one
looks nice.
sound. I
Yes.
had a 5-string Stingray that had a 3-band EQ and a selectable like whole thing, and all that to have one sound.
Yep. That's all you're gonna get. That's all you're gonna get.
That's the
But Glenn, I think you're gonna go down this road of pedals eventually, Glenn. Like,
Oh, I
that's
know.
how-
Yeah.
I know. I will.
That's how it
I
works,
know my
dude.
obsessive nature.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, you got
Black
this.
Star.
You got this.
Which
You
one is
You
it?
will.
Glenn,
I
just
have the-
go ahead and
requisite gas.
Glenn, just go ahead and add me on Facebook.
We'll see.
We'll talk all the way through it. It'll be fine. Just do it.
We
Philip,
can
the,
talk
the
about
thing
it
is-
all day.
Here's the genuine thing at the moment, because I'm such a newbie. I'm trying to get the sound, the tones that I like through the adjustments on the guitar and what I can do with a basic amp.
Okay,
So
all
that's
right.
good.
That's a great way to start.
That
That's
is
a
a great way to
At
start.
least gets semi-moderately incompetent as opposed to
and actually,
mostly incompetent.
Glenn, I have a bunch of suggestions for you for multi-effects that are going to get you like a taste of a bunch of stuff until
Send
you
me down a
decide.
sample box and I'll try them out.
Exactly. That's exactly what I think all new players should do. Actually,
I love that idea.
I'm a hardcore believer that new players today should just go ahead and buy either a Line 6 Catalyst or a Boss Katana.
Yes.
And just learn what they like.
Yeah.
And then go from there.
Yeah.
I've given that unsolicited advice out at guitar stores all over the country.
Yep. And so for all of those, Rick, who I don't think is with us anymore, but Rick,
Rick is not with us anymore.
I 100% think people should give the katana a shot because it's gonna, in the same way.
I had a katana, Philip.
Well, in the same way that the
Dave
Zoom
hated
505 for my generation, the Zoom 505 gave us all a taste of every effect. And then we learned what we like and what we don't like. And then you buy the good versions of that because the katana is going to give you a passable version.
I did it, Matt. Yep.
No, what are you saying, Dave?
I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. I used it.
No, I know
exactly
you didn't. I was being a jerk.
And I liked
I was being a jerk.
But then
I agree.
But then I realized, like, I need to move on.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
but I think Philip has a great advice there.
I like.
You know, I learned about the effects on the Line 6 pod.
Yep.
The bean pod. I also had, because before I got the Line 6,
I had the bass pod.
Well, before I had that, I couldn't afford the pod, so I just got the Behringer version of the pod. Do you remember the Behringer version of the pod?
I do. It was called the V-amp.
Yeah, it was the V-amp. It was blue, and it was kind of shaped like a Strat.
It sounded just fine. Hey,
that's what my first foray into electric guitar, and I learned about the effects.
See, I can't even rebuy. I've tried to rebuy my first pedal ever, and I can never find them, and they're always like 6 times more than I paid for it back in
that's ridiculous.
1999.
Yeah.
I can tell you what guitar player I was into when I got my first 2 pedals, and you would probably be able to guess what those first 2 pedals were.
It doesn't matter. It was a rat. It was a rat.
No.
Let's hear it.
I got really heavy into blues when I was
Screamer.
And what,
TS10.
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
TS10.
Both of those are right.
Yeah.
But then what was the second pedal?
Wah pedal. You got a crybaby.
Wah, yeah, wah. That's right. There you go.
Because that's the only 2 pedals Stevie Ray Vaughan ever used.
Yeah. Those I used just those for years.
Look, I've talked about it on the podcast. This tattoo was not an accident.
Stevie Ray.
I'm from Clarksdale, Mississippi.
Well, I hope not.
Like, those of you that don't know anything about, those of you don't know anything about Clarksdale. Clarksdale's home to some blues legends.
Oh, legend.
Like Ike Turner is from Clarksdale.
Yeah.
John Lee Hooker, Muddy Waters, Sam Cooke. There's
my oldest daughter's middle name is Ray for Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Oh, so
is that right?
I was a hardcore Stevie fan for a lot of years, but
That's my guy.
Well, then I got
Stevie's not a Mississippi guy. He's a Texas.
No, he's not. He's a Texas guy. He's a Texas guy. Oh, so here's the deal. Today, everyone calls the Stevie Ray Vaughan thing a Texas blues. That is not Texas blues. Texas blues is T-Bone Walker. Stevie is sped up, faster Chicago blues.
You know what, Philip? I've always been so confused about what Texas blues is because I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't.
The Texas shuffle is very much its own thing.
Yep.
Like Chicago blues tends to be a more straightforward, sort of on the beat type of thing. Whereas Texas blues
as
is
example,
somewhere in between there.
Chicago, yeah.
But Ryan beat me to the punch there. I would say the Texas shuffle. He did the Texas shuffle.
Yeah,
and it's a ZZ Top kind of thing too, where believe it or not, I've tried. Anybody that's tried to play ZZ Top in a cover band.
That is a Texas shuffle.
Drummers cannot do that shit. I mean, they cannot.
Unless they are like a blues drummer.
They're like stiff as shit. I'm like, listen to that guy.
Yeah, lay back a little bit.
I played Tush. I played Tush with so many bands and nobody plays it right. So that's you telling me that's why?
Yeah, that's 100% why. There's a reason I'm so picky about drummers. I'm so picky about my drummers because of that reason.
Preach it.
Can we?
I'm telling you, as a
You need
bass
to get
player.
me behind you.
Oh, hey, Ryan's calling it out.
I'll give you another song. Is like, believe it or not. So, Stevie Ray Vaughan, ZZ Top, that Texas laid back shuffle. It's almost like a funky thing where it's just back on the beat. And Fleetwood Mac did that because Mick Fleetwood had that. And you try to play some Fleetwood Mac songs, and they all sound stiff as crap because nobody's Mick Fleetwood. Mick Fleetwood could just lay back.
Was up.
Don't stop. Some of those songs sound deceptively simple, but that drumming is so laid back. I mean, he was very underrated.
So the hard part about all of those styles of blues, and I'll get back to my point, but about the tattoo, but the hardest part about all of those styles of blues is that they don't give a shit who the guitarist is. The groove and the feel are built on who the rhythm section are. Any guitar player could have played over Reese Wine and Tommy Shannon and Chris Layton. Any guitar player could have played over those. Don't get me wrong, Stevie wrote the songs and they played that way for him. But remove Stevie once they had the groove and throw another guitar player on there, it's gonna feel like that
groove was locked.
Well, I mean, Kenny Wayne Shepherd's Trouble Is album is Tommy Shannon, Chris Layton.
Dude, let me tell you, when I met
Kenny, I did not know that. That's
I'll tell you what.
It's very hard. It's very hard to find people that can play that.
I'll tell you what. Say what you want to say about Joe Bonamassa.
Yeah,
you see him live. His bands are swinging, man.
The dude can play, and you know who plays keys?
His bands are
Reese. You know who played Reese Winans?
Yeah, Reese
Winans. Keys for
Nice.
So, Kenny Wayne Shepherd. When I met him, he came through Clarksdale. And I was the assistant manager of Ground Zero Blues Club, which is Morgan Freeman's blues club in Clarksdale, where I'm from. And
Morgan Freeman,
not a name dropper.
That was my boss. That's the ultimate name drop.
The name drop.
I can't drop a strong name.
You get busy living or get busy dying.
Actually, I take it back. There are some other names I could drop, but that's for another time.
Philip's got an amazing story about another name.
But yeah, so Kenny Wayne Shepherd came through town and wanted to take some pictures at the club. And like, I have never met a more polite, considerate, nice guy about like he and his photographer. Awesome. That's it. Just he and his photographer. And they came up to me as the assistant manager at the time. So I was manager on duty, and they came up like, hey,
manager on duty.
Well, they said, hey, we want to take some photos. Do you mind if we take some photos around here and here? Not once did he say his name. Not
he didn't say,
once.
I'm Kenny Wayne Shepherd.
Nope, not once. I knew who he was because I'm a guitar player, but not once did he say, I'm Kenny Wayne Shepherd. I was hoping I could take some pictures here. No. None of that shit. He just said, hey, can I take some photos, around the club? Absolutely, you can. Please do. And after they were done taking photos, I talked to him for a few minutes. Nicest, most genuine, down to earth,
awesome,
nice
man.
dude.
My ex-wife met him at a Walmart.
Oh, really?
He was playing in town, and she was shopping at Walmart, and she went past one of the checkouts, and she was like, "Son of a bitch, that's Kenny Wayne Shepherd." So she has a picture of her standing with him at a checkout line in a Walmart.
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple of things, right? So let's go back to Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah.
The fucking Austin City Limits with Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Which one? Because so there's two
they're
of
both
them.
very different energies.
Yeah, they're very different. And one of them, I have this theory, and I have a little bit of evidence for, that is maybe the most influential guitar performance of all time. So which one?
It whatever one is that I've seen. I didn't realize there was even
there were
two.
The first one he's wearing the blue shirt, and the second one he's wearing the vest.
So when he's
it's the second one. I think it's the second one.
So when he's in the vest, he's clean.
Yep.
When he's in the blue shirt, he's coked out of his mind.
Okay, all right. So it's got to be the second one then.
The blue one where he's clean. I have this theory the vest one where he's clean. I have a theory is maybe the most influential guitar performance of all time because, and the reason I say this, first of all, it was the one that I woke up to I fell asleep with PBS on and woke up in the middle of the night to see Austin City Limits, Stevie Ray Vaughan, that second performance. And that was the thing that made me switch from playing acoustic to electric.
That's
now,
awesome.
That's for me.
So
And
you would probably appreciate my story that got me into blues too.
So
it's Johnny Lang related.
Well, there's that too.
He's awesome too.
There was that, but then there's later down the road, right? I start hearing interviews and reading interviews. John Mayer points to that performance as the thing that got him into blues.
I believe it.
Wait, and here's and John Mayer's one thing, but here's the one that really solidified it for me. Derek Trucks points to that one as well.
Oh yeah, Derek Trucks is the same age, as John Mayer.
So
roughly.
there's more than one guitarist that points to that second appearance on Austin City Limits to say that was the biggest sculpting point of their guitar playing.
Oh man, so
for me though, with Stevie, it was definitely the El Macambo performance.
I didn't see that till way after I was into Stevie. So
that was one of the first performances I saw. I had that on VHS, and to this day I could put it on and play it note for note and say everything I played with that show so much back in the day. For me it was Johnny Lang. When I was I don't know, I think I was 9 years old. We were at a place called Iron World, because I'm from an area in Minnesota called the Iron Range. And
sounds like a fun day for the family. Iron World.
Yeah.
Iron World.
He was playing at an outdoor amphitheater. And
we're going to Iron World.
I am Iron World.
We were sitting in the outdoor amphitheater, and he was playing. And it was when he was Kid Johnny Lang in the Big Bang. And
yes, I have that album.
He came out into the crowd and was just ahead of me, playing a guitar solo with his wireless. And it was that moment in Blues Brothers where he's like, I have seen them.
Yes.
That's what it was like for me. And that's when I was introduced to the blues. And
that's awesome.
And it was after my life was never the same after that. And then of course everybody, like they do with every blues guitar player on the face of the earth, they were like, oh, Johnny Lang is the next Stevie Ray Vaughan, which is complete bullshit. He sounds nothing like Stevie.
They did that to my sister, and she's nothing like it.
She's the next Stevie Ray Vaughan.
They said your sister was the next Stevie Ray Vaughan?
You should have heard my sister during her blues phase.
Oh, okay.
My sister is.
Wouldn't she be the next Evie Ray Vaughan?
My sister is the most creative, most musical person I've ever met, and I've met Robert Plant.
I knew you were going to say that at some point.
That's right. We know that.
So Ryan, you'll appreciate this one then. There's a reason. I knew that was coming. There's a reason this Strat exists in my life. It doesn't have lipstick pickups, but
you love lipstick pickups.
Well, no, Stevie did. In his white Strat, he had lipstick pickups in it.
Yeah.
But that was before the SRV Strat.
No, that was after. He got it
later.
Oh,
it was after? Okay, sorry. Okay,
it was later. But anyway.
That was when he was actually playing Dumbles on the road.
Yes. Well, he got the Dumbles real early because his first record, so after the Live at Montreux in 82, Jackson Browne invited him to record his first album, Texas Flood, at his studio, and he used Jackson Browne's Dumble to record that album. And he got his own Dumble to go on tour after it. Look,
just to drop my own name.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Glenn.
Names.
Glenn, do it.
One of my friends played with Stevie on "Couldn't Stand the Weather," so he was
a
sax player.
What?
He's a sax player. Yeah.
Nice.
Because saxophone and Stevie Ray, I mean, they're so in sync together.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. Wow. So my mate was playing with Bowie, and he was playing.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
So that's how they knew each other. That's how they knew each other.
So they recorded
Just
with
Dance.
Bowie, and then
they played on Just Dance.
Exactly. And then he needed someone to stand the weather.
A saxophone, was he an alto or a tenor player?
What's Ryan showing over here?
Oh, I don't know. I don't like him that much. No. He's a sax player.
That's Ryan, his Strat days.
Yeah.
No, but who was the sax player? Because I knew a sax player that played with Bowie.
His name is Stan Harrison.
Okay.
So he played with Springsteen. He's playing with Little Steven at the moment.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
Oh, really?
Chic.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So my tie, like I play a lot of fun games with the whole 6 degrees thing, and both Morgan Freeman and Robert Plant are very good pieces to have as your first degree.
Morgan Freeman.
But hey, I had Lamont Cranston's bass player on my first studio album, and Lamont Cranston was what got Johnny Lang off the ground because Johnny Lang and I are from the same sort of area of the world.
Yeah, Minnesota.
Oh, really?
He's from Minnesota.
Okay.
Yeah, he's from like Western Minnesota. If I
He's
remember
originally
correctly.
from Fargo, and when they decided that he was going to go full time and play music, they moved down to the Twin Cities.
Let's be honest. Fargo is Western Minnesota.
I mean it's literally on the border.
Isn't it Southern Canada?
Yeah, basically Southern Canada.
Southern Canada.
As a Northern Minnesota,
It is Southern Canada.
It's a great movie, by the way, too, right?
Yeah, Fargo.
It's a terrifying movie, is what it is.
Terrifying TV show and
truth
movie.
be told, though, up around Boston, we call Rhode Island like southeastern Massachusetts. I mean, just like,
as you should. So I'm gonna divert us back just a little bit because I like any.
Oh yeah, talk about the Novos. Yeah,
talk about Novo.
Look at this thing. I love it, Philip.
So Ryan and I had this conversation about because Ryan builds guitars.
Yes,
I really hope it's not past tense built guitars because we're still talking about whether or not he's going to keep going. We've talked about whether or not he'll send me a guitar to check out and maybe talk about it a little bit. But so the thing, Novo, like, so Dennis Fano is going to go down as one of the most new innovators in guitar. There will come a day where he and Fender and McCarthy, I'm sorry, not McCarthy. We're not going to talk about politics. McCarthy, we're going to, like, all those names are going to start talking about. Dennis Fano is like, he's a legitimate fucking genius because he's not afraid to build on something that came before him. This is, and I talked about this in another chat that I'm in for the Effects Loop podcast Patreon supporters. This is
Effects Loop, Diaz,
yeah. This is essentially, because I had a Jazz Master at the same. This is a Jazz Master body.
It is
with some changes in the contours. But this is, I still say to this day, Novo makes the best guitar necks in the business. Nobody else touches them.
Yeah, so I was hoping you said that because it's like you're talking about the neck, right? It's like the neck is, which you could argue is one of the most, probably the most important.
It's the most important.
Yeah.
You can change so much else. You can change fret material. You can change bridge. You can change hardware. You can change nut. You can change electronics. You can't do shit about the neck. The neck is the neck.
So let me ask you this. Here we go. I want to hear from all of you guys on this. Where do you stand on the Tonewood debate?
Oh, here we go.
We're gonna have to take turns.
I want to hear what Ryan has to say about it because he's a builder. Like, Ryan, do you feel like, what's your sense?
Ryan, what do you think?
I have sort of an ultimate, like, my own ultimate opinion on the whole thing. Like, in an electric guitar, for how it sounds coming out of the amplifier, it doesn't fucking matter what it's made out of.
Oh,
at all.
Yeah, thank you.
However,
but
going with what Philip was saying about why he doesn't like the Tone Masters and stuff like that, feel is so important to a guitar.
Yes.
And
I said this in a couple podcasts
if you aren't getting
the
feedback that you want from the guitar you're playing, you're not going to play to the best of your ability because it doesn't.
This is exactly
feel right.
what I said. Yes.
All right.
So, and John was
doesn't
saying
matter.
before, it's about confidence.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
if you're playing a guitar and it feels stiff and it's not resonant and you're not digging how it feels in your hands, that is still very important. Exactly. It affects how you play.
I'm going to do a
function of the guitar. You're right.
I'm going to do a yes and to Ryan.
The wood itself does not matter.
All right, this is like a yes and this is like an improv thing.
Yes,
okay, all right.
yes, and I am a big believer that and I'm not ready to say, I'm legitimately not ready to say that wood doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, it does to some degree.
But I am ready to say that the things that matter the most, and I mean 90%, I'm putting an arbitrary number on it. The things that matter the most are anything that touches the string itself, the strings themselves, and the electronics.
Yep.
So there's
what about these?
Well, hold on. What they touch the string? Do they not, Dave?
Where's mine, John?
So the nut, the nut material, the strings, the fret material, the bridge material, and the electronics and the player affect the tone more than the wood the guitar is made out of do.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
I don't get me wrong. I think
I
wood
totally
matters.
believe that.
I think anybody who has an opinion on this, like, it's fun. You can almost tell how experienced of a guitar player somebody is based on their opinion about the tone wood debate. Because less experienced people will have a different opinion than people who have been playing for a really long time. Because I've been playing guitar for over 30 years, and I'm saying it really doesn't matter. You know.
Let me illustrate in 3 guitars. We're gonna illustrate in 3 guitars.
Let's do it.
Pine.
Yeah, it's fucking pine.
I'll be right. Hold on.
Wait. Pine. Mahogany and maple.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Ooh.
That should be our new Guitar Dads slogan.
Ash.
Guitar Dads
Ash.
podcast. It's fucking pine.
Ash. And you know
well,
what?
I mean, it is like Novos are incredible guitars. It's pine.
Yep. You know what all 3 of these guitars do? They all sound fucking amazing. They sound better than I deserve.
Right.
We have a saying in the photo industry: it's not the tool, it's the tool using it.
Yes. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
And that's the big argument I make. Like everybody's like, tone is in the hands, and I actually don't believe that. Tone is in the gear.
Don't?
Style is in the hands.
I saw a T-shirt that said
all
tool.
right.
Not the band. I'm just a tool.
Style is in the hands. Tone is in the gear.
I'll make a big distinction there, and a lot of that, what you're saying, is correct. But I would say musicianship is right is here.
Yes,
it's there in your technique and your tone. A lot of your tone is derived from this, and you can make up for a lot of lack of hands and muscle memory and practice and ear with equipment, but you can't make up for all of it. And when you get that perfect blend where you get a musician whose hands, you can pick up a shit guitar out of anybody's garage and make it sound like, what the hell? Okay, now you know that person's rocking, because everybody knows it. But there's a blend for most of us where we're not that cat. We're not ever going to be able to pick up a piece of crap and make it sound like that. But you blend.
I can, but you know.
Yeah. I mean,
Ryan believes in himself.
So now everybody's dropped a name, and I'll drop a name, but nobody will know it probably. But I
not much of a name then.
I'll test you then. So as far as bass players, though, I attended a session with Ray Brown. So a noted jazz bass player.
About this tall?
Yeah, Ray Brown, like he's on everybody's albums. He played with Bird and Coltrane and everybody.
No. He's Oscar Peterson's bassist.
Yeah, he's the dude, especially for upright. So he did
Philip knows. I figured you would know Philip.
I thought I knew. I'm gonna go ahead and admit I had to look up to double check that I knew the name. But yes, Oscar Peterson, incredible saxophonist. He gets overshadowed by Bird, but yes, Oscar Peterson.
Okay.
So Ray Brown has played with everybody. Ella Fitzgerald, Sinatra, but he's done hardcore jazz stuff, and he's dead. He's been dead.
Pianist, not.
He died in 2002. I'm looking at his Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but he is a cat from the day and part of the whole. But anyway, he did like a session where we could go down. When I was going to college in Boston, I knew he was going to be playing at Wurlitzer's, and it was just for the bass players. And we went, and I looked at his hands, and it looked like this right here was like the side of Glenn's ham sandwich. I mean, he had just like a hand, and he was just playing, and it was effortless technique. And the sound he got, and then some of us came up with our bassist, and he wanted to hear us play, and then he picked up the bass. But when he played the bass I had, which at the time was like a crap student plywood upright, I was like, oh my God.
I bet he sounded great.
How did that sound come out? How did that sound come out of that piece of wood? And it was right here.
But
I'm going to take this to Craftsman. I'm going to take this to craftsmanship, and Ryan, you'll appreciate this. A master carpenter can do more with a $10 hammer from Walmart than I can.
Yeah.
Every day. Every day.
I'm a master photographer. I mean, I'm a brand ambassador for a whole bunch of global companies. I can give me any camera, give me a phone, and I can do an epic photograph.
Yeah, exactly.
I believe that all day long.
I can see it all up here.
Yeah, I believe.
Glenn, this camera that I'm using in front of me right now is a Sony A6400. And you hear me say that, and you look at this picture, and you're like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Well, photography, photos put up here to write with light, dude. If you don't have the light, you don't have the photo.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I mean,
there you go.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
But,
I mean,
I shot a whole bunch. I shot a whole bunch of launch images for Tamron Japan with that camera that you're using for your webcam.
Yeah.
And and we're talking epic photos launched around the world, no problem at all. The camera's perfectly capable.
I've got a guy that goes to
for you it's capable. For me, you put that in my hands, you're going to get crap.
I'm same way I play guitar. Yeah.
Because I don't know how to frame it. I don't know how to wait for the moment. I don't know the right time of day. The lighting is right. I don't know, like, hey, shut those overhead lights off. I don't know any of that crap.
Yeah, I've got a guy who is a member of. So I'm a member of Rotary International, which I know is totally an old folks club, but whatever. I get
We're
it.
all getting there, dude.
Yeah.
What do you guys? No, wait. Do you guys drive around Rotaries all the time?
No. Rotary is a civic. Rotary is a civic club.
No, I know what it is.
That's a dad joke right
That's
there.
a dad joke. This is the guitar dads.
I'm gonna walk away. Anyway,
this is the guitar dads. Anyway, go ahead.
So like, there's a guy who comes and like,
Philip, it's a Massachusetts thing.
He has won international awards with his iPhone photography.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
he is so good that an iPhone is a professional camera to him.
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome.
It's ridiculous. So
it's not the tool using it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's my thing is like only a bad craftsman blames his tools.
So how do you find the balance is what Matt and me and Dave have talked about, where they like a lot of gear, and I get it. I'm not judging it, but I don't pay attention. I did. I'm doing it. You called me out. You caught me. But no, what I'm saying is, like, where do you fit your practice time in, and your technique, and your muscle memory, and your
you gotta make that happen. That's gotta be a choice.
It's a hard balance, right? It's a hard balance. You go too far one way, you just practice and you get your shit together, and then you go out with a crap amp, and your sound guy just sucks. You're gonna sound like shit.
If you're the kind of guy who wants to go out and play shows and gig, you are going to build a rig that does what you need it to do, and you're going to practice your ass off. It's guys like us who aren't gigging as much anymore, who are buying shit tons of stupid pedals we don't need in playing.
I almost got offended too. You said anymore.
Oh, that's good.
You mean like me?
No. But I'll tell you one thing though. Buying the gear, if you're doing it right, you're buying gear. You're like looking for inspiration, right? When we get new gear, it inspires us, and it's like, oh, this is awesome. I'm gonna learn this song. I'll plug in a pedal. I'm like, oh, this reminds me of this. I'm gonna go learn that song from this artist that it reminds me of.
That's for real.
And it gets you playing more, right? If it doesn't do that, then get rid of the fucking pedal. That's what I say.
Yep, I agree.
Or even if you pull out like a pedal or a piece of gear that you haven't played for a long time, and it totally inspires you. Like you own it, but you forgot the what it sounded like, and that's
like when I got this Jubilee,
Yeah.
I learned, like, I went and I was so excited about how it sounded that I learned like
Oh,
every
that totally motivates me.
that I learned every song on Appetite for Destruction. I mean,
Yeah.
I still can't play. I still
I'm in
can't
the-
play them all, but I learned like the riffs from every song. Right?
I'm in the same boat that like right now I'm looking at, because the one thing I don't have, the one amp I don't have is I don't have anything that does high gain, right?
Well,
So like,
wait, you have that divided by 13. Did you sell that?
no, it does not do high gain.
You don't?
Oh, it doesn't do high gain. It's true, it doesn't do high gain.
Yeah,
You're
no,
right, you're right.
So it does like
Yeah.
vintage. I have one that does vintage Marshall sounds and one that does vintage one does
You need
vintage Marshall, vintage Vox. I don't have anything that does like modern high gain sound. So I'm like,
You need a Soldano.
well, I'm looking at like Soldano, Mesa, even like the PV 6505, the mini head they make. Don't get me wrong. I have like literally I have on the calendar to go buy a 6505 mini head from somebody, but we'll see if that happens. But I want to learn those kinds of things because I don't play those things anymore because I don't have the gear that plays them. But there's also that thing where you got to go. It's like, do I really use or need or have the, like, does this gear make sense to me? If it doesn't, then you got to get rid of it. I just went through the whole thing, Matt. We talked about it. Dave,
We
talked
talk about it.
That Les Paul that I bought. I bought an R8 from stuff that I got rid of because I don't play it. Like I literally sold enough gear to buy this guitar.
To buy an F and R8. No, I think it's awesome. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm on the high gain thing. I'm kind of curious about the EVH amps. I'm kind
me
of like,
too. They're on the list too.
I'm gassing for an EVH.
Are you EVH curious?
I'm EVH curious because I saw Mammoth and I'm like, oh, these EVH amps sound so good.
So wait, go to Glenn for a minute before I want to.
Yeah,
go ahead, Glenn. Yeah, go ahead, dude.
I've just got to go because it's
Oh yeah, we've been into this for a while. Glenn, thanks for hanging out, man.
Yeah, thanks guys. It's been a lot of fun.
Thanks for listening, dude.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man.
Wait, Glenn,
appreciate
it's like middle of the day for you. You're leaving us?
He's got stuff to do.
He has to do dad things.
It's the dad part of Guitar Dad, yeah.
He's got to go take some pictures.
Glenn, my children for 3 hours on a sunny Saturday afternoon.
Glenn, do you have an Instagram that we can like follow with your photography? Or no?
I'm the only person in the world with my name, so just look me up, Glenn Lavender. I'm the only person.
Okay, Glenn Lavender. Okay, we'll check you out, man.
I'm looking it up. Glenn Lavender, gotcha.
Yeah,
and I'd love to see your photography, man.
A world of epic photography. There you go.
Oh man, I'd love to see it. Oh, that's awesome, dude.
Look, there it is. There it is.
There's that. First
I love photography.
Reaction video. Now look. Now it's a reaction video. He's looking up.
Yeah. Wait, Glenn, you have more than double my followers, so this is like you doing me a favor now. So
yeah, Glenn, can you like post something about Guitar Dads?
Right.
No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
Can I buy advertisement on your Instagram? Yeah. Is that a thing?
I'll do a photo of a guitar and I'll tag my influences.
There you go. That's the way to do it.
There you go.
Awesome, Glenn. Good to see you, man. Thanks so much, man.
Take care, guys.
All right,
dude.
Good to see you, man.
Later, Glenn.
All right, we'll see you then. All right.
Yeah.
But no, it's talking about that whole thing. It's like you buy gear to inspire you, and at some point you have to decide: does this actually inspire me, or did I jump on some hype wagon?
Yeah.
Hype wagon's real,
man.
The king of tone. All hype wagons.
I've had a very
no. You shut your mouth, Matt. The king of tone is the best overdrive pedal of all time.
I just said that to be provocative.
But so to me, it boils down as a very simplistic view that I have of all of this is because, like I said, I come from just the hands and practicing, but I realize sometimes my amps and my sound has let me down because I haven't been enough into the other side of it.
Yeah.
And maybe I need a pedal. I know where my weaknesses are there. But so one example of you don't have to go so high tech, and I know guitar players change their strings every Sunday if they're gigging a lot. But
that's true.
Especially on an upright, they're like $225, and you might change them once a year, or it depends on how much you're playing, or if you're bowing. And then I hear these bluegrass players, and these national bands come through town, and they're at these little funky clubs, and I get down there and mix it up with them and we play. which is great about bluegrass, by the way, because they're very unassuming and they're monsters, and they just want to hang out with people and pick.
Dude, those flat picking guitar players that play bluegrass, that shit's crazy.
They're all insane.
They just want to fucking Billy Strings. I know you guys all know Billy Strings.
Oh yeah,
because that shit is nuts.
My first guy was Sean Watkins, and that guy blew my fucking mind.
Yeah, they do. And
like, my camera is highlighting my cat coming back over.
Chris Thiele on Mandolin and like Sierra Hull. But anyway, so I was going through a thing where that's when I went to Upton Bass, Dave, and I was looking for my next upright. I'm like, I got to upgrade this because I'm not appreciating the sound that comes from it. The low E string is not punching through. It's just thumpy. It's like cardboard, boxy sounding. I need to punch through. I'm playing too hard. My technique is not. I'm struggling because I'm playing too hard. Well, long story short, I had a suggestion from the guy that works on my bass and that I bought from, who's a great guy, Volker Narman, out here in Massachusetts. He does a lot of work for the BSO people, the bass players and stuff. But he goes, when did you change your strings last? And I said, it's been over a year. And he goes, try this set of strings. I put a set of strings on. I'm like, he goes, I like the sound of your bass. All it takes is like one cat that really is in the know, that knows your instrument and says, you know what, that sounds kind of good. I like it. And it totally brought me back from the edge of the cliff of dropping 12 grand on a new upright I didn't need. I put new freaking strings on it. So gear is important.
It's change strings.
It is, and I know that sounds stupid to guitar players because I know that you change them a lot, and I change them on my electric.
I don't change them as much. I don't change them that much.
I change them on my electric.
I don't change them as much as I should.
I change them on my electric a lot. If we're playing like once a month, at least every other week, I change them. But
I change my electric strings until I find the right set, and then they hang out for a while.
Yeah, the set that have been on this Stratocaster been on here for like 4 months probably.
Yeah, man, really? I'm definitely into it months.
Wait, cool. that P bass. So I bought that P bass in 2005, and I played that. That was my only bass for. Hold on, I'm going to do math. Look, I'm a librarian, not a mathematician.
Oh shit, we're gonna see smoke now.
I changed this. I bought that in 2005. I put flats on it in 2006, and I didn't change the strings again until 2020.
That's
so you play the flat one. Now we're gonna do some bass talk. So step back, man.
Yeah.
So you put the flat wounds. I've never played.
What the hell's a flat wound?
It's like I only played like the Rhoda.
No, I know what it is. I'm just kidding.
It's a bright, twangy thing.
Yeah.
And I've gotten into the Diodario has a nice string because they were out of Rhoda sounds at Guitar Center. For God's sakes, who runs out of Rhoda sound bass strings at Guitar Center? You got to be kidding me.
Oh well, that's a whole other conversation. I'll continue here. So I used the Diodario Chromes on that one. And they were on there until 2020. So what's that, 14 years?
Whoa.
You know you love Guitar Center.
14 years. And all I would do, I used finger ease to clean the strings.
Yeah, that'll work.
I cleaned them every so often. And I used those same strings until I finally changed them. And I put a set of Roto Sounds on there that I bought at Sweetwater in Fort Wayne because I was passing through. And I fucking hated those Roto Sounds. Hated them. Yeah. So I immediately, I got them home. I had them on less than a month. And I ordered a set of Labella Deep Talking Flats. And I will change those strings again when they break. And that's it.
Hey, you like what you like.
Yep.
That's and it's funny. First of all, I love that you're playing bass and that you're changing strings and doing all that stuff.
Yeah,
it's a whole different animal. It's a different animal. And but if it doesn't sound right, you're right. You do lose inspiration. And I get Matt, you're chasing, and Dave, you're chasing the tone, and you're chasing the pedals, and you're chasing the next big thing, and you buy into the hype. I get that, but I'm always trying to find the balance where I don't like here's my biggest fear is being the dude that shows up on a $5,000 mountain bike out on a trail with somebody and I just flip head over heels on the first little thing that comes down, right? Because everybody's like, hey, fucking nice bike, dude. It's too bad you just bent it in half. And it's the same thing with gear. Because I would never, like, I don't want
It's a good point. Yeah.
I don't want my gear to outrun my talent. So I'm not going to show up there. I'm not going to show up there with some like monster $20,000 rig with a base and then show up there and like people are like in 10 seconds. So because they're expecting this, woo, and then you come out and deliver it in this. Like, so that's my fear.
I don't want to wear that T-shirt, but I want that on a T-shirt, like real bad. I don't want to outrun my talent.
It's a great T-shirt.
Yeah. I think that's right.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
Great
But at the same, I think that's right, Sean. But at the same time, I feel like, you know, that doesn't mean like if you're gonna have, you know, that doesn't mean you have to be some amazing musician to have the best gear.
No, exactly. I agree with you.
I never fault anyone for the gear they have. Please buy what you want to buy.
But
play what makes you happy. And that's the thing is like, because I used to host at Ground Zero back when I used to play there a lot more often when I lived in Clarksdale. I don't anymore. I used to host the Blues Jam there every Thursday. Like not every Thursday, but a lot. Like a whole lot. I probably did 50 or 60 blues jams hosting it.
Wow.
So you saw a lot of shit.
I saw a lot of shit. I saw a lot of amazing players, and I saw a lot of not amazing players.
Oh, I can imagine.
A lot of varying levels of gear.
I'll just cut to it, and I'll just be total transparency and honesty. Not if you're running that jam and you've seen all this, and you see somebody show up with the guitar or the setup or the thing or a 56 Mustang with a felt pad thing, and you're like, holy shit. And then they come out and they just they don't play well. To me, I'm judging it. I'm sorry. And I know I'm wrong. And I need to talk to somebody about that. Maybe I need to find...
I mean, so am I.
John.
So I would judge that silently.
One night at Ground
Everybody's going to judge that, John.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. One night, no, not everyone. The guitar players are going to judge that.
The guitar players.
The non-guitar players don't know. They don't know. They just think you've got a bass or you've got a guitar. That's all they know. So, but like I played,
like here's the other side of it too. Just really quick. This is a Korean plywood Squire body with a Mexican fender neck. Now it has been refretted. It's got stainless steel frets in it, and Mexican pickups with a cheap Gretsch Filtertron lookalike humbucker. This is my main go-to guitar for every gig I have played for a decade.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
It is by all accounts a cheap piece of shit. It sounds phenomenal. It plays phenomenal. I would take it anywhere and play it because it does what I need it to do.
Right.
And part of the thing for me is I grew up not having a lot of money, and I've never had a whole lot of money. So I buy gear that fits the needs of what I needed to do. And I have worked on my knowledge and my ability to make those things better so that I can go out and do what I need to do.
Yep.
It would be great if I had tens of thousands of guitars or of money to go buy all sorts of fancy things. But for me, it was about, this is the tool I need to do this job. What can I do to this thing to make it what I need it to do? And as a result, I have a guitar that is worth nothing to anybody else, but it sounds great, and I would take it anywhere.
But
but you know what, Ryan?
Yeah.
You know, Ryan, like that's what it's all about, right? Like that's what it's about. It's not about like we love to get into this fancy gear, and you know, we joke about Philip being into the bougie stuff, and it's that's all well and good. That's all well and good. But like Dave and I talk about, so I don't have it here, it's over here. You know, the Squire Classic 5 stuff. Like it's fucking awesome. Right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to
do a fret job on it.
The pickups though on the Squire Classic.
Yeah, so you change the pickups.
You change the pickups. But it's still a great. Those are still great guitars.
It's a great guitar. It's like you don't need to be.
Ryan,
You know, Yeah. So go ahead. No, go ahead.
To
Dave.
your, but like, so, I mean, we talk about this all the time in the podcast. I don't gig, and I never will, and God knows, and
No, don't
you're
say
gonna-
never will.
No,
Don't
you're
say
gonna
never will.
gig. Don't
nobody
say
ever
that
wants
shit.
to listen to me play. Okay, so maybe one day
You're gonna
gig.
come to the
But
blues jam, and
I'll
John's
come
gonna
to
play
the blues
with you.
jam, and
And I'm gonna play. I'm gonna sing a Sweet Home Chicago. It's gonna be fun.
That's right.
Just
Yeah.
go get in a helicopter crash afterwards.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's for me. It's
We're not gonna
about
get a
like,
helicopter crash. That's terrible, Ryan.
oh, that's I know.
The
for
Stevie
me,
fans will know why I said that.
No, we know
that's
why
right.
you said
Yeah.
that.
But for me, it's like it's about the gear, because it's like I just have fun with this stuff, and so
That's
to-
okay.
Yeah,
to
and that's cool too.
buy
That's
another
okay.
pedal or to buy another guitar and just have fun with it and play with it and be inspired.
Dave
by
has
it.
been. I got on Dave's case for a while because he wasn't.
But I
playing
totally
guitar.
appreciate what you're saying. Like
He kept
in
buying
terms of like
guitars.
gigging musicians, like the gear that you have is, if it's working for you, that's what you need. You don't.
Yeah,
need
but Dave,
anything else.
let's be
And
honest.
it's weird too because like I love gear. I've always loved gear. I mean, that's why I do what I do now for a living, because in my head, I am a gear whore.
Yeah.
I just never could afford it.
I
But
love
the thing
that
for me
gear
was-
whore.
The thing for me was,
Yeah,
That's
I
good.
wanted to play live and I wanted to gig. So for me, in my journey, it was important for me to have gear that did what I needed it to do. So
Totally.
that's
Right.
why
Yeah.
that's
Well, what you did,
That makes
Ryan,
sense.
which is, I love, is what you're talking about that story is you got to a point where you have confidence and you can take that MFer out there and plug it in on stage and go, "What's up? Let's go." You have confidence. It's about the confidence.
It
I
is
don't
all
care
about the
if you
confidence.
gotta if you're so
It is
that
all about that.
and I'm saying balance, right? It's gear versus how much you practice in your hands and all that. So maybe you don't practice a lot, but your gear's really good. So you got great tone and you can get out there and just play a few things. Great. I have no problem with that. I'm just saying I'm pretty judgy on bass players. And if a guy comes out there with monster rigs and he's just like playing with a pick and he's doing some kind of shit and he's not, I'm just like, dude, man, I could have done that. Like when's the bus leave? Get me on a bus and I'll get a pick.
and
I'll
I'll
play
just
that.
do that forever. That's right. Well, I want to address something, Dave. Like Dave likes to downplay himself because he doesn't gig. Dave, none of us, like the rest of us on this call, on this thing, gig. We gig. We do
Occasionally.
We do gigs. Do we do it professionally? Do we do it to make our
Not
living?
anymore.
not
Not
anymore.
No.
I'm too
But-
old for that shit.
Also,
So
for what
so
it's
how
worth,
is-
I had
yeah.
way less gear and way more
Yes,
budget gear when I did gig professionally.
exactly.
Like
so there
I
you go.
spent 8
There
to
you go.
10 years. My main income was gigging. I had 2 guitars, 1 amp, and a pedal board of like 5 pedals.
So,
Yeah,
so you know
same.
what? When I was in my heavy gigging years, I never gigged professionally, but when I was in my heavy gigging years, I had my guitar. That was when I was doing solo acoustic. I had my guitar.
Yeah.
I had my little pedals. I had no like gas for another. I had my beautiful Taylor that I still have. That was my gigging guitar. Had no desire for any other gear ever because I was out there gigging, doing my thing. So to your point, Dave, we gig, but like it's not like this is. I don't see the difference between what we're doing and what you're doing. Is my point. Like we do this for the enjoyment.
My
and the love
point
of
is,
the-
like
the
if I
love of it.
gigged, if I gigged, my gear choices might be a little bit different because I would probably
Well, they might
purchase
be
out of need, and yeah, but I
The
would
more you
purchase
gig,
out
the
of
Dave,
more
let
you
me
would
tell you-
find
Fire.
what gear you liked, and you would use that gear more often.
Dave, my gigging
yeah,
pedal
that's probably
board,
true.
Dave, let me tell you something. My gigging pedal board hasn't
Giggle?
changed. My giggles. This is the wine. My giggle petting board.
Holy shit, dude! Where's the nurse?
Dog.
I'm calling 911. I'm calling.
So
Somebody
while
get-
he's trying to break the giggles,
My pedal board, my gigging pedal board hasn't changed in 4 years.
I
So
get
No,
it.
it has.
I
You know.
spent like 8 to 10 years where these were the only 2 guitars I owned. Period.
Yeah.
Well, look at that. There you go.
That was it. This was it. These 2.
That's
And
it.
literally, this is the one. I'm sorry. This was the one I used the most. And I only bought this one because I played a bunch of clubs with shitty power that hummed all the time with P90s.
Yeah, the
So I
P90.
bought a humbucker one.
You're such a P90 guy.
That's
Philip,
why you should have got
Philip,
these.
Philip, what is that Les Paul? What
Oh.
is that?
Oh no, this is
It's not Les Paul. What the
this
hell?
Is a
Not Les Paul. I'm sorry. I don't know. What is that? What's that in your?
How much bourbon have
I
you
meant
drank?
no. Sorry, I meant I've had a little bourbon. I'm saying what I meant. What is that in your
why we've
left
stopped
hand?
the recording.
I didn't
So-
mean to say Les Paul. I meant to say left hand.
This
not Les
is
Paul.
this is
not-
an
we're
ES
on a bottle of wine
135, and this has Freyland P90s. Has since I bought it. And this is an ES 137 custom. That's just humbuckers in the same body style, and it has a baritone that I never use. So
Okay.
So I'll go one further. Like I've been playing out at a bunch of like anything like you said, church gigs, upright. But when I play electric, I play a bunch of clubs around all over the place, and a bunch of different people, different situations, jazz or what, doesn't matter. I've never played an electric bass other than this Fender Precision with the jazz pickup on it, the PJ 1979. I've never played another electric bass beside this. That's it.
And that's
It's just-
Dude,
I wish you. I would like to play that. Like, that looks like a sick bass.
It is. I mean,
doesn't it? Look at that thing. Look at that fucking
it's
thing.
got the symbol. I don't know if you can see it, like the gouges from
Yes.
the freaking drummers on it in the back with
It's got real relicking.
the rash on it.
Yeah,
It's,
same with this Strat.
that black
It's just
that
all
black Strat I
detail.
showed is missing a chunk out of the headstock where a symbol caught it.
damn. I mean, because I stand next to the drummer because I love the drummers, and you got to be able to bring it if you're a drummer. But I mean, the headstock on this has got like no
Look at
varnish.
that. Look at that.
Picture.
Real relicking. I
It's
love
just-
that.
70s Fender. Like, I know a
Yeah.
lot of people talk shit on like CBS era and all that,
No,
but
that's
I love the natural finishes and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I had to.
Look at the nicks and dings in this thing.
Yeah.
Look at
Sick.
Yeah, dude.
This is nicer, but you can see this.
Oh, that's a good one.
You know,
That's like the rash on the back of this. This is
yeah,
from,
there's a
like,
little buckle rash on
This
there.
is from my.
That's Matt.
Stupid.
That is Matt's best guitar right there.
Yeah, that's like a stupid belt
That-
I was wearing.
Well, if we're gonna
that guitar
talk.
that
If we're gonna
Matt
talk
pulled-
damage. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to show it.
This was a satin neck originally.
Oh,
That's
really?
how
You
much-
played it, and you played it in.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
This neck was on a different Mexican Fender body for a long time. It was my main gigging guitar since I got that guitar in 2001, I believe.
Yeah.
And it was my main gigging guitar forever. I mean, I played thousands of hours on this neck.
That's awesome. That's so
Uh,
great.
When you get something like that, you just know you can walk out on stage with it with a new set of strings.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like 75% there. I don't know what your hands feel like today. I don't know if you had a fight with somebody and you just like your mind isn't like, or somebody cut you off in traffic. If you're there on your music level, you need to be, but you're 75% there. If you walk out with that thing
yes.
that
Yes.
thing, you're like,
Yep.
you're ready to go.
Yeah,
Bongzilla,
Philip, that's a played in SG right there.
I mean,
Philip.
Ryan, Bongzilla, he shows up with that thing. He
Bongzilla.
straps it on. He's like, bring that shit. We're gonna mop the stage with you guys, right?
I'm really looking forward to playing with that. We've already
Dude.
talked to them. We're gonna get fucking ripped.
Look,
Yeah, I
If
believe it. I
if I
believe
lived-
it.
if I lived
I mean,
within
you're playing
100
with Bongzilla.
if I lived within 100 miles, I would be getting in the car and going to see that. Just
Yep,
to say,
same.
Where are you? Where are you at?
I'm in Boston, in the Boston area with the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're a long ways away.
Yeah. But just so when friends said, "Hey, what'd you do this weekend?" I'm like,
Yeah,
I went
he
saw
lives in the
Bongzilla."
same town as I do.
And they had a
I
great
saw
warm up band.
Bongzilla.
Bongzilla was kicking it, but the warm up band mopped the floor with him. And they're like, "What the fuck? You did what?" Yeah, Bongzilla. You got to get out.
It's
Yeah,
very
You
weird.
don't know about Bongzilla?
I would go. I would go to
It's
that. I'm
it's
not
very
kidding.
interesting. We're the first of 4 bands that are playing on this bill.
Oh God.
And
The Bongzilla bill.
Oh boy.
yeah, and nobody really knows who we are. Okay.
So
short
kick
story.
ass. Kick ass.
Short story. My friend Brendan wrote all the songs for this band, and he's a big cannabis advocate. because we're in Kansas, which is still one of the few illegal states, despite the fact that literally every state that surrounds us
I'm in
is
Mississippi
legal now. And
you guys are in the red states. Sorry.
Yeah. And we recorded this EP with a whole bunch of other musicians from other bands. I played drums on most of it. I did some of the leads. My buddy Brendan played guitar on the whole thing. And we released this EP, and it has sort of accidentally gotten a whole bunch of press that we didn't know it was going to get. And end of last year, going into this year,
it's awesome, man.
Brendan had people calling him saying, "Hey, we want you to play on these shows." And so we put up a band together, and people are not going to know what fucking hit them because
dude, that's going to be awesome, man.
Because we're like, my buddy Zach that's playing bass, he's like 12 years younger than me. He is like a prodigy musician, and it's going to be great. We're going to come out on stage and kick ass, and people are going to be like, where the fuck did these guys come from?
That's awesome. Dude, if you can
super excited.
If you can get someone to record some clips, definitely post them in the group.
Yeah, so my buddy Brennan is he has a professional photography thing he does as a side hustle that he wants to make his main hustle. So we will definitely be getting good.
Post some stuff in the group. We'd love to see it. It sounds like it's going to be a fucking fun time.
Yeah, he's dressing up as Shaggy. And...
What?
Yeah.
This is going to be a crazy ass show. It sounds like.
The band is very much like the themes are sort of serious themes that have to do with, cannabis and all that. But the aesthetic and the presentation is very a caricature of Scooby-Doo and stuff like that. It's sort of heavy stuff in a very fun way.
It reminds me of a band that a buddy of mine used to have. They were called Love Zombies. They were a hardcore band.
Love Zombies.
Love Zombies or Love Zombie. I can't remember if it was plural or not. But it was a hardcore band, and all of their songs were either about love, zombies, or zombies in love. And it was beautiful.
What the hell?
To this day, the best guitar solo I've ever heard came out of that band. And it was literally, I can't replicate it entirely, but I'm going to do my best. And it was like, remember, it's a hardcore band. They don't have guitar solos. Like, that's not a thing. So, like, they got to this one point in the song when they were writing it, and they were like, oh, damn. This song needs a guitar solo. And so my buddy of mine that was playing guitar, this was an all-girl hardcore band, and he was the temporary guitar player. He played the entire life of the band. So
that's awesome.
So like he went into this solo and he literally just started going as loud as he possibly could, and just nonsense, just complete nonsense. I wasn't exaggerating a thing there. And it was like not even trying to play notes, or it was just nonsense. And it fit
the hell?
Wait, no. It fit the entire vibe of the song so perfectly that it's the best guitar solo I've ever heard.
It did?
Because I've never heard another guitar solo that fit a song as perfectly as that one did.
You know what? That reminds me of something that might not be on the same vibe, but like Rage. When Rage Against the Machine is playing, and so I got into them late after they had already been big. Me too. Then I started listening.
I loved them.
Part of it was the Matrix movies and shit, and I'm like,
sure,
what is this vibe? It is so damn cool. And they're funky. They're funky and hard. And as a bass player, when you get funky, I'm all in. I'm all in on that. I'm listening. Yep. I'm listening to hard rock. I don't care how hard it is or soft, but if it has that backbeat funky thing going, I'm gonna listen. And they were killing it. Like, I'm like, who is this? Rage Against the Machine. And their guitar solos are a lot of times just doing
it's weird, like nonsense. Oh yeah, it is like that.
But it fits the vibe so damn well.
It works so well.
It is so on point.
That's Tom Morello's. That's Tom Morello's brilliant.
sometimes the vibe for certain
Tom Morello
music
is
is
brilliant.
chaos.
It's chaos is right.
That's what makes
He's just
sense.
I stuck a link over in the private chat to go to our Spotify page if you guys want to listen.
Oh, you'll have
Cool.
Spotify. Oh, okay. Open Spotify.
Oh yeah.
I'll check it out later.
It's on all the streaming services. But,
Oh no! Where we just lost John.
Oh no!
Fucking John.
Oh, he probably
John
clicked the
go?
link and it broke something. So
It broke something for him.
It broke it out. I'm gonna text him.
But yeah, I'm getting close to calling it too because I have not had dinner yet. So
Dude,
I
you've
know.
been with us the whole time.
Neither have I.
I
Neither
ate
have I.
dinner at
sign
like
off.
3,
I gotta
so
tell you, Ryan and Philip, thanks for hanging out, guys. You guys are the
man,
best.
no, I've had a blast.
Philip,
I have
Ryan,
been
you're the best
actively
too, man.
trying to get myself more acquainted with people who are in sort of the podcast community.
Oh yeah,
and
man.
stuff like that, because I feel very disconnected because of where I live, but at the same time, I feel really connected to a lot of guys that do this stuff just based on like I listened to the Novo podcast, and I was like, God, I could be best friends with
rest
these
in peace.
people.
Rest in peace. It's done.
Is it gone? Is it gone?
So,
okay.
so what happened is Matthew Timmons, who was really the person steering that, left Novo. He is now with Mythos. They have their own podcast now.
He's with Mythos.
So there's a podcast now called Pedal Pushers from Mythos, and so they're in their second episode. It came out like 2 days ago.
Okay.
Wait.
Is Zach doing like 2 different podcasts?
Wait, isn't
now?
Zach doing with
So
Drake?
Zach is doing 2 podcasts.
Zach does like Dipped in Tone.
Okay.
He has Dipped in Tone, which I'm also a Patreon supporter of, like your podcast now.
Thank you so much.
See, and that's another group of people that I would love to
Thank you.
connect to, because I feel like we have so much in common and all that. But I'm just
and
I'm not a
I love
content
Zach.
creator the same way that all those other guys are.
And Zach's another guy that I text
Ryan.
occasionally,
That's
and
cool.
I'm like chatting with. But yeah, so Matthew is over there now. So I don't know if the Novo podcast is going to happen anymore. So listen to Pedal Pushers now. So that's
Ryan,
a whole thing.
Ryan, I know that you've kind of I know that you reached out to us. Yeah, we definitely. I think you should come and hang out on the podcast at some point.
Yeah,
and we'll get it. Let's get into some like deep amp like nerdery.
Because Ryan's a total different rock vibe than what y'all normally have.
Well, I know that's true, but
and most people have no idea who I am. But I've done some shit. Right. I started gigging semi-professionally when I was a teenager. I released my first studio album when I was 17. I've toured all around Minnesota. I've been playing music for years. I've been on at least 5 full-length albums. I've done a lot of stuff.
Yeah, man.
Just nobody has any idea who I am.
Ryan's a dude. Ryan's a dude.
No, but that's okay, man. Let's talk about it. And let's get into some nerdy stuff too. Yeah,
that's all real shit, Ryan. It's just like me. I'm just a guy, but as long as you've been out there long enough to hate the sound guy, you're
Dave.
in.
That's right. If you hate the sound guy,
I was about this close to kicking a sound guy in his fucking face several years ago.
That's funny because I was about this close to coming to blows with an artist once.
A guitarist. A guitarist that wouldn't turn the fuck down.
Yeah.
We were playing a multiple band show, and we got up on stage. None of the amplifiers were mic'd at all. It was basically like the kick and the singer.
So most of my gigs.
And we were already turned down pretty low. And he came up and bitched at us that the guitars and the band were too loud for the singer. Actually, no, come to think of it, he did mic the amplifiers and then came and bitched at us that our guitars and stuff were too loud. And it's like, well, then take us out of the fucking mains.
Yeah, what's the big deal?
But we played for one song, and he came up huffing and puffing at me about how loud the guitars were, and he was a real dick about it. And his face was real close to where my feet were, and it took every ounce of me not to just kick him in
the fucking face.
Yeah,
dude, that's amazing.
And the rest of the show, I was pissed off for the rest of the fucking show. We finished, and I packed up my shit and left.
I almost came to fists with a Grammy Award nominee once, but I'm going to leave that there.
Yeah, well, let's not do that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so
Your Grammy Award doesn't exempt you from me punching you in the mouth.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that. I believe that, guys. All right, I think we're done, guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna go find some food.
Jeez, that was like a hard stop.
I think on that note, it's over.
Wait.
Yeah.
Punching
Like,
Grammy
a 12-year-old cat today, and
punching Grammy nominees is your line. Like
You
I
guys
need to
made
know.
it you guys were here for
that's
3
it.
hours and 33 minutes.
Yeah, man.
You guys are the greatest. I
was
don't know.
awesome. Thanks, guys.
Really, you guys are the best. I love it.
No, it's been a blast.
Seriously.
This is a great
it's
night.
been nice to connect with you guys because, like I said,
Ryan. Yeah, man.
I'm always on the sidelines, but I really like to be a part of this stuff. And
yeah, man. And well, thanks so much for joining
No,
tonight.
absolutely.
I mean, let's continue to talk. All right, dude.
hell yeah.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. And Philip, we love you. What can we say? You're our buddy.
I like to be around. That's all. That's all.
You're the best, man. And John, what can we say about you? You got stories for days.
No, it's been great. I loved it.
Seriously.
And thanks for hauling the old man out and watching some.
Oh no,
last
John,
week.
you're the best, man.
That was some good.
I
That was
hope
a
I'm
fun-
I mean, John.
That was a fun night.
John, you're putting us all to shame, man.
Well,
and you're,
The
I don't
resident
old
long
age.
boy
Seriously.
expert. So
Longboard, I love it. But and to be fair, I was the guy on the edge of the mosh pit making sure Matt and Dave were safe. I was arm barring people from flying into us, right?
he
You
really
have to
was.
admit.
He was doing that, but he was also, he was doing
Seriously.
Yeah.
It did. Dave was so
God.
upset.
I've been that guy.
I'm just gonna make a comment, and I made it before.
Listen
Like,
to our
if
last
you're over
episode about
16 years old,
the thing.
Yeah.
and you're doing mosh
Stop
pit.
it.
I mean, you're a douche. I mean, that's enough.
In our last
Seriously.
episode, we
Stop
said,
it.
"Are you doing mosh pits? Stop it!"
What are you saying? Are you doing what?
I said,
I-
"Are you doing
kin-
mosh pits?
kindergarten
Stop
cop.
it!"
I
Oh, no,
agree
no.
so much about what you guys were saying about that too. I've been to shows.
Did you believe that, Ryan? Because
I went and saw Seether on
Seether.
one of their first like major tours when their first album came out, and
me too.
the entire crowd was pushing so hard towards the front that we could not stand up. They were crushing us
That's
towards
terrible.
the top, and I threw hands with a couple of people.
So
'cause
You're gonna have to at that point.
So
dude.
it's
I-
like
You have no
I paid
choice.
for a fucking ticket to come see this band, not to have you crush my buddy's girlfriend.
Yep,
It's
that's-
so annoying.
No,
It's like
that is.
I wish
I-
they had a special section for people who were assholes.
So Ryan, I was trying not to be that guy to jump up and say,
Yes.
"Get off my
Thank
lawn!"
you. I agree with you.
I didn't want to say "get off my lawn," so I just put the arm bar up, and as people jumped into me, and I just like nah. And then the
So
guy
I've
turned
been-
around, and I'm like, "Go ahead, dude, throw it. Go ahead, do it."
So
And what's funny is I've been to a
I've
bunch
been-
of death metal shows, and the people are so much cooler at those.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
really? Oh, interesting.
No,
Okay.
yeah.
At
No,
the death metal
people,
shows, really.
The people at the shows where they expect a mosh pit are way more respectful.
They know the
That makes
etiquette.
sense.
They
That
know
makes
they know
sense.
mosh pit etiquette.
Yep.
Like than the people who just spontaneously make it happen and like
Yeah.
no. You just want to hurt somebody.
Yeah.
These were just
Well,
like
so
these.
I've been-
I
yeah.
thought. Go ahead, Matt, in a second. But I thought
No,
these
it's
guys
fine.
had the feeling. The vibe I got from them was like young Boston BU students, Boston University. That this was like their second or third mosh pit. Like they just wanted to run around and bang into each other.
They were inexperienced
Yeah,
monsters.
they
you
were
could tell.
inexperienced. So I'm not gonna like throw a
Well,
haymaker at somebody on that.
Oh,
I
Well,
will.
that- well, I'm-
Oh,
well,
I will.
this is the thing,
not
John,
gonna-
because John, that's where I was going with this, because I've been known to be a little bit volatile if that kind of stuff happens. So, like, I don't want to,
Yes, you have.
I don't want to, punch somebody in the throat. But if I have
He's
to,
gonna
I'm gonna
get
do
wicked
it.
mad.
Matt can get real mad.
That's my
real
favorite
fast.
Boston word.
Yeah, I'm gonna get wicked mad. Like if you
Wicked.
push into me the wrong way, it's probably not gonna end well for you or for me either, because those
Especially if
guys
you
are-
do it more than once. Like the first
Those
time I'm going
guys
to
are
give you a
bigger than
pass.
me,
If you
so-
come back and hit me again, we're going to have.
No,
Well,
no,
exactly.
Steve.
You know,
So that's
those
the
guys are
difference
bigger
between
with-
you and me, Matt. That's the difference, dude. I people don't understand. Like they look at me and they're like, "Oh yeah, soft white guy from Mississippi." No. I grew up in the motherfucking hood.
Yeah, so man,
No. I had to change schools because of how much I like to fight.
Well, there you go.
Because my mom was sure that either I was going to get knifed or I was going to knife somebody. And so she changed what high school I went to. Like, no, I don't mess with that stuff, man. Like,
I agree. I don't like to
don't
mess
be
with
an
it.
ass. We're here trying to enjoy this show. But if you want to show yourself, I will be happy to crush your larynx.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I would be happy. I would be happy to do that. But the problem is, with me, if it goes there, it doesn't stop, and then bad things happen.
Yeah,
and, you know.
I'm usually too high to really care that much.
No. I've been arrested once for an assault charge. I'm not afraid.
Oh,
of another.
really? Okay, I see.
All right.
You got
I'm
me
not afraid
beat
of a
there.
second one. So
You got me there. But
well, it was a juvenile one, but that's a whole.
And the
other
older
thing.
that's the thing. And as we get older, right, we have more to lose, right, Philip? So
yeah. No, I have
we have-
nothing to
we
lose.
have-
I don't care.
We have to have
It's
cool,
fine.
we have to have cool heads on these things. So.
I fucked up my shoulder putting a vanity in my bathroom 2 weeks ago, and I can still barely use my left arm.
I dislocated my left shoulder throwing a guy out of a bar. So no, nothing bothers me.
Nice, I love it.
I still got him out. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you had to wrestle
That's
him
all
out.
that matters.
Like,
Yeah, I still got him out.
That's good,
So,
man.
Yeah.
All right, so that's good.
guys.
So if we go to mosh pit shows, we'll bring this group with us.
Dude, I'm ready to throw. I'll throw bows all day long.
I love it. I love it.
The arm bar up. Nobody's getting past that. I mean,
So Philip, when we're on Broadway and I have words with somebody, you're gonna get my back.
Dude, it's nothing but Nashville yuppies. It'll be easy.
I was gonna say 2 swings, they're down.
Dude,
I
don't even need to swing. I just need to step up. It'll be fine.
Or you know, before I let you go, I went. My friend who's from New Hampshire, who grew up on a farm. Some kid. We were at a bar in National on Broadway, and he's a tall dude, and some kid like kind of stepped to him because he was one of the tallest dudes there.
Oh God!
And my friend said to him, my friend goes to him, he goes, you're all hat and no cattle. And the kid just fucking walked away. It was so
he did.
He had nothing to say.
Did.
He was like,
What are you gonna say to that?
and I said to him, what did you say to him? I said he was all hat and no cattle.
Dude, that's 100% true. They are all 10-gallon and absolutely nothing filling it.
Yeah.
So
He walked
that's
right
all
away
it is.
because I was ready. Because he's a lot bigger than me, but I was ready. I'm like, oh my God, this is a crowded bar. I'm gonna have to fucking kick some ass in this bar right now.
So I grew up.
When I look behind me, Matt, and the mosh pit guys were banging into me, the guy was as tall as me, and I'm kind of
he
tall.
was, a tall guy. Yeah.
But I looked at him, and I was much older. And first of all, he's like, "I'm not going to punch my dad." But then I looked at him, I'm like, I looked at him, and I was like, "Is this going to happen?" But
yeah, exactly.
And nothing against it, but okay, maybe it is, and you'll see through it.
Yeah.
But he's wearing a man bun thing with a fucking, and I'm like,
oh man,
you're gonna, look. You're running around, bouncing into your buddies, and you're chuckling it up. But it's the third time you just smashed us. So what are we doing?
And there was women. There was women there. It was like, this is ridiculous.
Well, so most of the big guys I know, like
so
for example,
he stepped down. To his credit, he just stepped down.
He did step down.
Most of the guys I know, like for example, I had Scott from the FX Loop on the podcast this past week. If y'all go back and listen to it, and Scott is like, he says 6'6". That man is 6'7" if he's anything.
Yeah, he's a big dude, huh?
He's 6'7" and he's not a rail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like he went to a Polyphia show in Chicago, and like most of the people I know who are his size, like 6'7", and they carry some weight with them, because like 280 pounds for a 6'7" guy is a lot different than me at my weight for 5'10", right? And they tend to act as the buffer zone. Like they understand their role in like legitimate mosh pits.
That's right.
Yeah.
They do. That's right.
They know that, hey, I don't get to be in the mosh pit. I get to be the edge that makes sure that everyone in the mosh pit knows the edge. Like where to stop.
Good point. It's a good point.
So when you go to shows where people don't have any kind of fucking etiquette because they're assholes, pardon all the German in that phrase, they don't know, and so they try to add it, and that's when I know how to break a kneecap.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love that. I love that, Philip.
I was just trying to define the edge. That's all. I'm like,
no. John was
only
just
6'2", but I'm like standing up, and the guy turned at me. I'm like, what? It's like he's like, yeah, okay. He said, I'm like, go back to your
annoying
American history class and stand down.
I thought it was gonna. John. I looked back there and I thought you were gonna hit, and I was like, "Here we go." It's gonna be.
Well, that's the way I am. That's the way I am.
I'm ready. I'm ready to roll.
I gave him a chance to step down, and he did.
It's either I'm the edge
anytime.
or your dislocated patella is. That's just the way this is.
Yeah, one or the other. You pick.
I'm ready to go anytime. John? If you would have swung, it would have been all over.
Oh boy! Thanks for the heads up. I will keep that in mind.
It would have been like, it would have been like that. Would have been it for that guy.
Yeah.
So anyway,
awesome,
fun times, guys.
Yeah,
you guys are the best. Thanks so much.
I'm gonna go eat dinner.
Thank you guys.
Go eat something.
We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Later, you guys are the best. Thanks so much,
fun,
guys.
Man.
All right, thank you
guys.
guys.
Have a great night, man.
Have a good
Thank
night,
you
man.
all so much. Thank you. All right, here we go. We're ending this.